There's way too much to talk about as usual, so I'm going to do my best to cover as much as I can. But even with all of the videos that I've been making on this Fables Folly show, it's still, there's so much. I can't get to it. Even with multiple hours. About 10 videos per day at this point. It's getting crazy, man. Culture is doing a 180, though. And we tried to warn everybody. We tried to warn these freaks that kept trying to change culture and were gaslighting us, trying to say that we were the problem. But we held our ground. When you make culture for everybody, you make culture for nobody. You have to make things for certain audiences, not for the whole modern audience. It doesn't work like that, man. And people finally caught on. People are finally catching on to the bullshit that they were trying to push in culture. We got a video from Asmongold. Twitch deserves to be shut down. This is a short one. This is going to be a short video. I usually do longer videos, but I had to talk about this one, man. Because this is crazy.
I'm not trying to be his friend, though. Why was he a bitch?
So let me get this straight. Somebody said this girl assaulted them. I've been vocal about the situation originally and nobody cared.
You mean it can happen both ways? What? No.
She grabbed and held down Saeed, FaZe Silky's assistant, on stream, while her friend Zoe Spencer twerked on him after he repeatedly said no and tried to get away and tried to take his clothes off. Now she's lying and saying that she didn't do shit when it happened on stream.
Is she gonna get banned? You think? You think she's gonna get banned? She should be in jail.
They didn't even post the full thing. There is a part where they literally take me to the room and try to pull down my clothing. When it originally happened, most people were attacking me. I felt so uncomfortable talking about it.
Dude, this is absolutely disgusting gooner behavior. Like, get the fuck out of here with this, man.
What is this? What is going on, man?
Zoe, he's not consenting. Huh? He's not consenting.
Oh my God.
Man, I'm so glad this is censored. Because I don't want to see none of this. That's crazy.
Hey, yo, cut the cameras, cut the cameras. Yo, cut the cameras, bro. Zo, do your shit.
And you see this clip, right? Listen to this again.
Cut the cameras.
Who wants to walk around being called that? That's embarrassing for him as a guy.
So she's saying that it's embarrassing for him that these two girls went up to him and assaulted him.
Why was he a bitch?
Yeah, he should have let them, apparently. That's the only way that this could have gone. No, actually, if a woman tries to do this to me, they're probably gonna throw hands.
What a disgusting fucking bitch. There's no excuse for it. Even if some guy is attracted to her, doesn't mean that everybody is. Why is this bitch on the platform right now? What is this? What's going?
And who could be attracted to her anyway? She sounds like a dude.
What is going on, man? Can you imagine if two guy streamers did that to a girl? Really? Like, imagine. This would be like national news. Like, you'd have every fucking person tweeting about how this is another example of culture and how men enable this stuff and everything. Like, we'll put out a video about it. I mean,
yeah, she should be in jail. 1000%. She's not gonna be. She's probably not even gonna get banned.
If they don't get banned, I'm gonna tell you this. Twitch is a supporter of sexual assault.
Guys don't.
Yep. Supporter of sexual assault. Supporter of terrorism, supporter of violence, supporter of gooner behavior, supporter of mutilating children, supporter of pedophilia.
Worried the CEO is having a good time.
I wish I was lying, but this is really what happened. I was talking to Ham. I'm like, maybe don't go out tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. What the fuck, man? It just keeps getting worse. How does it keep getting worse? Guess what? I'm telling you right now, because I've been saying it, everybody's been saying it. It's going to get worse than this. It's going to keep getting worse until something is done about this garbage platform. Holy shit, man. Let's talk about some more Twitch. Twitch just got exposed, and it's so bad. Dude, more. We're just getting more. Okay.
As if the TwitchCon disaster with Emery wasn't already bad enough, as well as Dan Clancy's absurd damage control. Well, now we're getting even more reports about how terrible the event's been, as that takes us to Iron Mouse, who says, I deeply apologize to all the VTubers and the fans who had meet and greets at the VTuber booth this year. It breaks my heart to know staff threw out all the gifts. I should have known better than to trust them, and taken care of everything ahead of time. I'm so sorry, everyone.
She acts like this is her fault, but also, I'm kind of on both their side on this one, because Twitch, I think, shouldn't let gifts come through because it's very dangerous. But also, the way they go about it, not good. And also, it's worse than when I was a stagehand and we'd do the same thing. All the gifts, we'd have to not even let them in the building. Like, they weren't even allowed in the building. So we'd have to get rid of them, we'd throw them out, and we'd call the police and we'd call the bomb squad. Actually, I think there usually was a bomb squad just there already. But before they do that, they grab everything. People grab what they want and they take it and they steal it. That's how it goes.
One of the top responses here to Mouse from Buff Pup reads and also mentions Iron Mouse helping out, saying, "Girl, it's not your fault. It's clear as day that they don't know anything about VTubers or care about safety, even when people express months beforehand. When I asked to have a meet and greet for Rose on the screen, they said they had no idea how to do it. And you came in and helped, so I don't want to hear you blaming yourself. I love and appreciate you more than ever, and I'm sorry your experience with trying to help friends was super soured by Twitch, literally not caring, as you..."
I don't think that Twitch should be supporting meet and greets at this point. I think people who are having them through Twitch should not be having them. I think they should host their own events because Twitch is incompetent. And if you host your own event and then you get, something bad happen to you or something like this happens, then it's on you. It's not on Twitch. Twitch needs to not do these things because they have proven themselves incompetent.
Usual. So they're not running the meet and greets properly, they're throwing gifts away, their security is a complete mess. And I got more to say about all that, but first let's keep going because it still gets worse. As we got Anya the Genius, and she posts, "Unfortunately, due to a miscommunication or misunderstanding, any gifts or presents given to my meet and greet staff were disposed of by the venue staff."
Disposed of, you mean stolen.
"I'm very sorry for anyone who gave me a gift IO. I'm not so sure it was a miscommunication or a misunderstanding or an accident even, but like I said, I'll talk more about that once we keep getting some more context." As we've also got Canine Kuro saying on...
And why didn't Twitch say this beforehand? They just randomly did it. They were just like, well, we're here. People are giving gifts. Throw them away. Why didn't they tell people before the TwitchCon even started, hey, don't bring gifts?
"Fortunately, if you gave me a TwitchCon gift, the event lost them all. I still really appreciate the intended gifts though." A response here from Maya says, "They threw a gift meant for Chibidoki into the trash bin." And that takes us to Chibidoki, where she says, "Can anyone else from my meet and greet vouch for this?"
Well, there could have been a bomb in it. There could have been poisonous substances, so why did they throw them away? Why did they throw them in the trash?
Nags and I were told to stop. I'm so incredibly sad if this is true. I was genuinely so excited to meet everyone.
I'm not even angry. I'm just, baffled that they're just this incompetent at every fucking level, dude.
They told us we had to end for safety. And that takes us to Chibidoki's experience, because not only did she have gifts thrown away, but they also gave her the complete runaround and cut her event short, citing safety concerns. Isn't that ironic? As Chibidoki says, "Sorry for the wait, chat. Not having the best experience right now. Just ugh."
Dude, it seems like nobody had a good experience. It seems like Twitch really fucked this, while Dan Clancy was out partying with OnlyFans girls.
"The staff have been lovely, for the most part, but they wouldn't let me enter and told me to walk all the way to the help desk to get permission to enter my meet and greet."
But they let Neon in and didn't vet him, and he pretended to be somebody else and went onto that person's panel. Holy shit. What? Holy incompetence, Batman!
Because their wristband they gave me doesn't work. I also had to show my face. It was very scary for me, but I understand why. Bruh, imagine not even being allowed to enter your own meet and greet. And it sounds like this...
Yeah, while Neon was allowed to enter somebody else's meet and greet. Come on.
Because of a mistake they made with the wristband they gave her or something. So then she had to go walk around all the way back to the help desk, get that swapped out or whatever. And by that point in time, the whole meet and greet has probably been delayed. That certainly cuts into the time of the meet and greet, which means she has less time to actually hold the event because of their mistakes. And it actually still gets worse from here, because Chibi then responds and says, "They also cut us short and we didn't get to meet everyone. I'm so sorry. If you see me around the convention, please feel free to say hi." And this dude Robrano says, "Wait, they cut you guys short? When I asked the staff, they said it was y'all who cut it short. I can't believe they try and shift the blame onto you guys." Chibi says, "What? No. We always meet every person. Last year we stayed for 3 hours. I think the line was too long, and for safety, they didn't want us staying.
So, like, they just keep lying, dude. What the fuck?
He says, oh, that's sad.
At this point, dude, with all of the incompetence, I think that it might be on purpose. And I don't think it's on purpose really at Twitch, but I think whoever's funding Twitch, they're doing this on purpose. Because they're trying to make bad things happen. They're trying to make bad sentiment. And they're trying to cause people to crash out. And then blame it on the people who are the creators, who have fans that crash out. And then when the fans crash out, they blame the creators. And dude, it is so fucking bad. So fucking bad.
A lot of us had to leave because they told us the line was cut because of your voice issues. I think that's what it says. ID sues. I think it's issues. And that typically, they move folk to a different meet and greet area, but due to health conditions, it was just cut off. Chibi says, what? But I never told any staff of my voice problems. I didn't even talk to any staff near my booth, only at the entrance. And he says at 3:30, they said the line was cut off and that while most creators typically go to a separate meet and greet area to meet overflow fans, due to the quote-unquote circumstances, we all had to leave. And Chibi says, I don't think that's referring to me being sick. I think they're referring to the really bad stuff that happened yesterday. Then he says, the stuff that happened yesterday was horrible, but they specifically said that if a creator wanted to meet everyone in the line, then they'd move to a separate area. However, all of us were told to leave because you weren't feeling well and couldn't meet with more people.
What the fuck?
Robrano then added, I even asked the line capper if there was anything I could do after being told that everyone had to go, and he just said, leave. Oh yeah, you can leave. Bruh. Chibi would
You need to leave.
then post about the conversation that we just read between her and Robrano saying, can anyone else from my meet and greet vouch for this? Nags and I were told to stop. I'm so incredibly
I've heard other people saying the same thing.
sad if this is true. I was genuinely so excited to meet everyone. They told us that we had to in for safety. I never even told any staff I'm sick. I'm so confused. I showed up and asked if I could wait for Nags before going out. That's the only time staff talked to me in the meet and greet area before telling us to cut the line short.
Yeah, they didn't want to tell everybody it was for safety issues because it'll make people freak out. And then if people think that if the place isn't safe, then they're not going to go to the next one.
So sorry if this
Or they might leave early.
is true. Which takes us to this response. TwitchCon staff is all over the place on miscommunication between attendees and streamers.
Probably because the guy that's supposed to be at the very top was out partying.
A friend of mine was given so much incorrect information, being originally told she could join your line after a separate meet and greet at the same time, but then removed entirely from the meet and greet area. She had a small gift bag of things in a clear bag she wanted to give you. Well, I mean, they'd probably throw it out anyways, but, you know, I'm making a joke, it still sucks, but, like, I'm not joking either. Like, they probably would throw it out, as we know. She asked security if they could give it to you. They said yes. Oh my gosh. They said yes, then proceeded to toss it into a nearby trash bin. She confronted them about it. They told her it was a security risk and could have held an explosive.
It's a security risk that could have had an explosive. They threw it in the trash. Excuse me, what? Excuse me, what? No, that's bullshit. They were told that there were no gifts, so they were like, well, there was no gift, so we're throwing it in the trash. Excuse me, what kind of insane nonsense lies is this?
Dude, that's freaking crazy. So they say that they'll give the gift.
And it would be one thing if it was like one person saying it, but so many people were saying it.
To Chibi. And then as soon as they get the gift, they turn to the trash bin and just dump it in there. And like, it's not okay to do that at all, right? But you would think if they're going to be scumbags like this, that they would at least wait until the guests left and were like out of view so they didn't like see that. But it sounds like they did it right in front of them. Like they did not even care at all. Oh yeah, we'll give it to her, and then instantly tosses it in the trash. Actually insane. And this whole thing about this,
well, like, also, what do you do at that point as an employee when somebody says, well, we can't allow gifts in, and then somebody brings a gift in anyway? And they're like, well, we were told we weren't allowed gifts in no matter what, so we got to get rid of it. And they didn't tell us how, they just said no gifts. Like, that's probably what happened here. They probably didn't explain what to do, how to do it, what constitute as a dangerous gift. It doesn't make any sense. And I can imagine how it went. Being an ex-stagehand, it was like that a lot of times, where there was miscommunication because some asshole that was above us was just like, well, I was told this, so do this. And then they'd walk off and we'd be like, what? what the fuck do we do? I guess just wing it.
Random security that she gave the gift to try and like give the Chibidoki, and them lying about that, saying that they'll do it, and then turning around and throwing the gift away, saying it could be an explosive. That sounds completely unreasonable. You see, these conventions have the initial security checkpoint, and the protocol is those people decide who can come in and who can't come in, and if they need to dispose of anything before they're allowed in. So at this point in time, these guests were allowed in, meaning the initial security checkpoint was totally fine with that gift being brought in. And then there's the obvious point about, yeah, them just throwing what they think is an alleged explosive into a nearby trash bin and leaving it at that is also ridiculous. That wouldn't do anything to stop the alleged explosive if they really thought that's what it was. Which, I mean, in my opinion, based off what I just read, I don't think they actually thought that.
I think they were told to think that. I think they were like, well, we can't allow gifts because there might be poisons, there might be explosives. So they were just like, well, I'm just going to repeat what I was told. It might be explosive.
I think these people are just scumbags, and they were happy to throw someone's gift away. And
I don't think that. I think that they were probably angry because of all the miscommunication, and they were probably tired of working there, but they're not going to leave because they're still getting paid.
As we know from the other anecdotes that we've been reading, this was not a one-time thing. This has been a recurring theme throughout TwitchCon with staffers, whether security or other staff.
Yeah, I think it was frustration from the staff. I don't think that it was actually like malice. I think they were just angry at the whole entire event in general.
Throwing gifts away. And there's a bit more to read about all.
And they probably hired a bunch of people that don't even care about Twitch or streamers or content creators in general. And it's just like a bunch of people that just work there.
This, but I suppose while I'm
like at the venue
making this long-winded commentary section now, I mean, you know, comparatively to the rest of the video so far, I'll mention my opinion some more real quick. So we already know that some creeper went after Emiru, and in large part you can argue that Twitch not allowing her to have her favorite security guard, banning that dude, and seeming to limit what the security that she did bring was able to do is something that enabled this creeper to do what he did. But regarding the rest of this, specifically like this issue of meet and greets being ruined, guests being lied to, and gifts being thrown away, it seems like this has all been disproportionately affecting VTubers specifically. And this seems a bit too coincidental, especially because similar things occur on the platform itself, on twitch.tv itself. For example, they'll give a VTuber like a 2-week ban saying that VTuber...
Yeah, probably because Dan Clancy doesn't like to whack it to cartoons. He likes to whack it to OnlyFans girls who are actually real, not cartoons. That's probably why. That's why he gives more attention to the real people, the OnlyFans girls who are like 18 to 20, and doesn't care about VTubers because a lot of the VTubers are older anyway.
VTubers too provocative. But then they'll have literal cam girls doing infinitely more provocative things, and they're totally fine with that. There's no...
Yeah, because Dan Clancy likes that kind of stuff. And so does Hassan and everybody else that's like in that top circle of Twitch.
Repercussions for them at all. If anything, Twitch actually promotes that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So Twitch has a documented history of having a bias against VTubers, and it's really weird and sounds dumb saying that. I don't know like why Twitch is this weird of a platform, but this is something that is well documented at this point in time, as mentioned. So I don't get it, but they're just weird and petty like that. And it seems like that's not exclusive to the platform itself, even as...
That's because Twitch is run by a bunch of old gooners, not new gooners. New gooners like the hentai and stuff. Old gooners, they like real people. So, you know, that's how that happens.
Live in-person event.
They don't understand VTubers at all.
Doing similar stuff and treating VTubers this way too. I suppose that's all to say that this consistent bizarre behavior from Twitch is too coincidental. It seems more likely and more reasonable to conclude that this is actually not an accident, and it is on some level intentional. Okay, so we left off here. We read this paragraph about how the security threw the gift away, saying, oh, it's an explosive, so let's put it in this trash can in the hallway or whatever it was nearby, because that's totally going to stop an explosive. Yeah, And so then the user says, we were told we could join the line again by one staffer, only for security to tell us that it was capped. We don't blame any of this on you. Staff clearly doesn't know what it's doing. Chibi responds by saying... Probably
because they were told one thing and the other people were told another thing because there was no actual coherence between the people at the top because they were partying!
I'm gonna cry. I'm so sorry. And then she went on to add, thank you everyone for the kind comments. I've been really heartbroken about everything, but I don't want to focus I don't want the focus to be on me when much worse things happen to others.
Worse things happen to others. That's so fucked, man. It's so fucked.
I'm sorry if it seems like I'm trying to take away from that. I just wanted to meet you guys. So yeah, in closing, this situation sucks. I feel really bad for the VTubers. I feel really bad for the viewers. Like, I can't imagine a viewer getting a gift, being so excited to give that gift to the streamer, and then you find out that not only did they not get the gift, but it was thrown away. Some people are speculating too that
Well, I mean, what are they gonna do? Stop watching on Twitch? If the people are making money on Twitch, they're not gonna stop streaming, so the fans are gonna go to Twitch. Like, they're not gonna do anything about it, really, except for talk about it online. Yeah, let's keep going with that energy, Twitch.
some of these gifts might not have actually been thrown away, but that Twitch staff actually took them, although of course that is just speculation. But either way, whether stolen or thrown away, this whole thing should...
I think we need to do a countdown. I think we need to do a countdown for everybody to leave all at once, and until that countdown hits 0, people should be leaving, you know, one by one. And I really think this should happen.
have never ended up like this, obviously. I think it's very likely that what happened to the gifts is probably somewhere in the middle. A lot of them were probably thrown away, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was some opportunistic staffers who...
Oh, there definitely was. No doubt there were opportunistic staffers who stole a bunch of expensive items or cool-looking items.
If I can, like, stuff this in my backpack or whatever, you know? So some of it probably did get stolen, in my opinion. That seems highly likely.
It happens all the time, no matter what you do, by the way. Like, even if you have the tightest grip on it, somebody knows the way everything works, and they'll slip something in their bag, in their pocket, behind a desk, under a table.
I'm not saying that's a fact, though, obviously.
No, it's a fact, because it always happens. Trust me, I worked in this industry, man. There's nothing you can do to stop it, unless you just allow the gifts to go out to the people. And what do you do at that point? You know what you do? You don't let them in the fucking building. You don't let staff anywhere near them. Actually, what you should do is let the police take care of it. 100%, 1000%. Only have the police's hands on them, and they dispose of them. Probably with fire away from the venue. And also, before the venue starts, before anybody shows up, say, hey, don't bring gifts. And then you tell the creators, hey, don't allow gifts in. Because apparently nobody was told that they weren't allowed to take in gifts. Nobody was told that they weren't allowed to take gifts. That's fucking bullshit, dude.
And then there's the whole thing with meet and greets, people given the runaround with that, saying, oh yeah, you can go, and then saying, oh, you can't go, getting pulled out of the line or whatever. And then from Emiru's testimony the other day, we know that according to her, some of the staffers at Twitch were literally laughing about what happened to Emiru. So yeah, a complete mess of an event to say the least. Let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you here and in the next one. As if the Twitch...
Oh, well. Yeah, absolutely fucking retarded, dude. Why is nobody doing anything about this, actually? Why is Amazon not doing anything? It's like, maybe they just don't care. They've got bigger things on their plate. Why'd they take Twitch in the first place? Did they think it was going to reach astronomical numbers, or did they use it for propaganda? Like when Jeff Bezos bought, what was it, the Washington Times or Washington Post or something like that. He bought one of those magazines and just pushed out Democrat propaganda constantly. And it's funny that the Democrats end up being a terrorist organization, or at the very least, terrorist sympathizers. How about that? Makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Donate to the Fables Folly Farm.
The celebrities, they're becoming sentient.
They're actually able to think for themselves?
Hi, my
Holy
name is
shit.
Sydney. Welcome back to hell. I'm so sad you cannot see this entire little background because over here is this cute little ghosty boy, but I couldn't shift the screen enough to get him in shot, but he's so cute and he keeps blinking and it's adorable. Anyway, hello guys, just a quick one. The tea is still on sale on my website for 50% off the 3 flavors, Earl Grey, New York Breakfast, and Emerald Green. Using the code We Don't Waste. Winter flavors are back
Sounds
in stock
amazing.
as well. Go check it out if you
She
haven't
got some
already.
tea.
I would.
She got all
love
the
it
tea.
If you did, thank you very much. So if you have been around this channel for any length of time, you will know that I have somewhat complex feelings about author J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter books, for those of you who somehow don't know that. I disagree.
You want to know my opinion on J.K. Rowling? I don't give a shit. I really don't. I don't care what she says. I don't care what she thinks. And also, I don't care what anybody says about her. I don't care what anybody thinks about her. I just like to make fun of retards who are completely wrong, who are brain cooked, who are socially brain rotted, who are politically brain rotted, and just can't take politics out of everything.
With some of the things that she's done and said over the years with relation to her books, and although I know that they are her books and she can do what she wants, I think it's really weird to change canon just after the fact because you want to appeal to a group of people being left.
Yeah, I don't even care. Like, you can change canon if you want. That just means that I'm gonna read the original versions. Like, sure, do what you want, change your canon. I don't care. I'm not gonna read the new canon.
Who are going to hate you anyway. You know, like signing off on the casting of Black Snape or pretending that Hermione is some ethnically ambiguous character in the books. They're never gonna like you, Joanne. Stop trying to make them like you. But obviously the one area where we do very much see eye to eye and we do very much agree, and I have a lot of damn respect for this woman, is when it comes to the trans issue and advocating for the rights of women and girls. Because so many women have completely dropped the ball on this. Feminists, what are you doing? Anyway.
Dude, feminists have always been a problem. Forever. Repeal the 19th!
As most of you know, it's become incredibly trendy to lash out at J.K. Rowling for years now over her vocal stance on women's rights.
Yeah, everybody likes to jump on the popular train. They like to say the most popular thing that every other celebrity is saying. All the popular people. That's why there's such a problem at Twitch. That's why there's such a problem in Hollywood. Because everybody's just jumping on the bandwagon. Because they have to. That's the corporate take, so that's the take that they have to make because they're part of the corporations. And I am so glad that a bunch of people are speaking out against this bullshit. Because they either will agree with it or they stay completely silent and just keep letting it happen.
She thinks we should have them, just to be clear. I love that for her. Well, for us, really, because nobody wants to wear a burqa less than me. Although, actually, this is less about wearing the burqa and more about seeing penises when we go into women's locker rooms. No, 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 none for me, thanks. What's really sad and interesting is that some of the people attacking her most have been past and present Harry Potter actors and actresses, such—
Yeah, because they want to keep their careers. That's why. And Daniel Radcliffe is just like, well, I've barely spent any of my money since I played Harry Potter. Okay. You're still wanting to work and be seen and be popular and be in movies. If you went against all of this, I don't even think these people actually fucking care. I think Emma Watson does, but she's a retard.
As Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. Regardless if you like or dislike J.K. Rowling, I do think it's pretty poor form for Harry Potter alums to be bashing her so they can win some points with the trans lobby.
I'm here for all of the witches.
Shut up, Emma.
Shut up, Meg.
So, admittedly, it came as a bit of a shock recently when actress Keira Knightley more or less laughed in the face of said lobby, sort of on Joanne's behalf. Joanne being J.K. Rowling, that's her actual name. And if you don't know who Keira Knightley is, she acted in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
Oh yeah.
And about 50
I had a crush on her when I was a kid, man.
The movies. If you don't know what Pirates of the Caribbean is, I don't know what you were doing for the majority of the 2000s. They weren't just movies. It was a lifestyle. Don't act like you guys don't say, but why is the rum gone whenever someone mentions rum in conversation.
I love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They're so good. So great. You seen this one? What about the second one? I've seen them both multiple times.
Don't even lie to me. Anyway, in mid-October 2025, Knightley was cornered by a reporter during a press junket for her new Netflix thriller, The Woman in Cabin 10, which I actually watched the other night. It definitely had some issues, but it wasn't bad. Knightley, who will be voicing Professor Umbridge in the Harry Potter audiobooks, was asked if she was aware that fans were calling for a boycott because of J.K. Rowling's stance on trans issues.
You know what I gotta say about this whole thing? Wah! Wah! Cry more, you don't read anyway, you fucking morons, you degenerates.
Saw you're voicing Professor Umbridge in the new Harry Potter audiobooks. I was wondering, are you aware that some fans are calling for a boycott, given J.K. Rowling's ongoing campaign against trans people?
I was not aware of that, no. I'm very sorry.
You know, I think we're all living in a period of time right now where we're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we? And we've all got very different opinions. So I hope that we can all find respect.
You can just
So
tell
true.
that she's incredibly
Well, she's definitely getting canceled for that. I hope she just keeps on not giving a shit, man.
over this. Like, why are you asking me about this unrelated random thing that has nothing to do with the reason I'm here? This facial expression is a representation of how I feel every day of my life, honestly. Because what the frick? Frankly, she's being a lot nicer about this than these clowns deserve. The clown being the
Retards. I call them retards.
interviewer, not
Degenerate freaks. That one's also acceptable.
Keira Knightley, who I'm imagining looks like this. Obviously, Keira Knightley didn't go out of her way to defend J.K. Rowling in the way that probably a lot of people would have liked, but it's...
Yeah, but she said exactly what I think she should have said. I kind of don't give a shit. That's basically what she said. And that's how I feel about it. I kind of don't give a shit.
pretty clear, like I said, that she is incredibly annoyed by this question. But sadly, it's incredibly refreshing to not
It's definitely forced. It is a 1000% forced question.
Have a groveling apology or someone launching into some virtue signaling-esque tirade, and also not throwing the woman who has created this opportunity for you under the bus, as we have seen happen time and time and time again. What else can I say? The bar is basically in hell.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad this is happening, and I hope that she doesn't say anything more about it. I hope anybody who asks her going forward, she just shuts them completely down and just like, I don't care. Like, hopefully that's the kind of energy we keep seeing more and more of. And she goes on and on in this video, dude. Like, I just checked it, and she really goes in deep. She goes in real deep. So I highly recommend that you check this entire video out. I got it linked down there in the description.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Yeah.
And to the surprise of no one,
This is my favorite cultural news show couple.
Brothers Discovery is announcing that it is for sale.
Woo!
Shocker,
Oh, fuck. Who's going to buy it? Israel, Saudi Arabia? Who's getting it?
Tell you.
Big shocker, yes. And they're announcing this because they're trying to get multiple bids, and they had a Skydance bid that fell through, but I think they're just angling for more money. I think the Ellisons will probably wind up with Warner Brothers before it's all said and done. I can't really think of anyone else who's qualified.
Warner Brothers, the search for more money.
Pretty much, right? The search for money. I mean, at this point, they're...
The discovery of more money.
Not search for any money.
I mean, they've had, like, look, they've had a couple hits at the box office lately, but they have not been doing very well. And Zaslav...
That's what I keep saying about all these games, especially Xbox. They keep coming out with slop, but they're making more money than ever. Okay. Okay. Warner Brothers was doing the same thing. And all of the companies in the past, AOL, even though they're not a gaming company, but that's Microsoft. Like, dude, all these companies, Sega, Atari, they got way too big for their britches, made way too much money too fast, and then all of a sudden, they did too much, and it all crashed immediately around them. It happens just like that.
He's a disaster,
Well,
right?
they haven't been overpaying him this whole time. I mean, when he came in, I was kind of like, okay. He was making some choices I thought were
Yeah,
good.
everything's going great. Dude, everything has been going great, apparently, for Warner Brothers. And then all of a sudden we get news that it's for sale. Just out of the blue, out of nowhere. And that's how it happens every single time. They like to gaslight people and say, no, everything's fine. We're actually doing really good. We're making more money than ever. We're having more hits than ever. And then they start canceling shit all over, man. And then they're like, well, we're still making so much profit. And then they announce, well, we're for sale.
But then that just kind of... And then he's the one that kind of took a bunch of stuff off and wrote it down. Then after he did it, Disney started copying it.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about
Disney needs to be careful because they're gonna have to start selling off a bunch of their studios and a bunch of their companies. They've already been doing that, but they're about to do it even more. I'm predicting next year is going to be really bad for these corporations. And I think eventually, if Disney doesn't turn around and actually start doing right and stop if they don't stop pushing the propaganda and the woke shit, then they're gonna end up themselves being sold off. And it's just like something got into our country, into our culture, to destroy all of these companies so they can be sold off to other countries. And that's what I've been saying for years, that this is where it was going to lead.
It's making the waves. I mean, look, nobody should be surprised because the way Hollywood is going right now, it's becoming Highlander, right? Like all these companies blew themselves up with streaming. Then we had the pandemic, and that definitely hurt a lot of these companies' bottom line because they couldn't open up the theaters. And
and also they were seeing record numbers for the streaming services, and everybody opened up streaming services, and it kept generating more and more and more. And then all of a sudden everybody was let outside, and all these corporations really didn't want that because they were making so much money, especially with all the mom and pop stores that shut down. And then all that was left was the corporations that were essential services, and we had all the essential workers, and they were making record profits because of that. And that's the way they wanted it. I think it was done on purpose, if you ask me. But then everybody comes back home, and they really, these woke freaks that are at all these corporations really didn't want that to happen. They're still pushing for it. They're still pushing, like, that COVID is still here, and people are wearing masks, all these leftist freaks. I say leftist. I should start saying leftoid more, because they really are leftoids. They're not really leftists. They kind of just pretend to be. They're just violent freaks who want control.
Their movies just kind of died, and then we had a lot of really
damn, that was a rant.
Shitty content for years, and here we are. years and years of bad decisions and unfortunate macroeconomic headwinds.
But Fables, they were doing so good. What happened? Dude, I'm right about everything all the time. Maybe not in my real life, but whenever I say things online, about 98% is true. It's correct, and it ends up happening. My predictions always come to fruition. And it's not even really because of my predictions, because I'm all that smart. I just follow people who also see the same patterns that I do. And I'll say some patterns that I'm noticing, and other people will confirm. They will say some patterns that they're noticing, and I'll be like, yep, that's definitely happening. And then here we are.
And a lot of self-inflicted wounds, and we'll see what happens. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
So we're going to go out to Cartoon Brew. They've got it. A couple other places, obviously CNBC. But the reason we're going to Cartoon Brew is this is going to have an effect on Cartoon Network, or what's left of it. And also...
Good riddance. I don't care. They stopped being good after like 2009. I don't even know what the last good Cartoon Network show was. But as soon as they started doing real life content, they were fucked. Whenever Cartoon Network was making IRL content, like, give me a fucking break, dude. And then Teen Titans Go ruined them. Because it got super popular. It got more popular than Cartoon Network, and it was garbage. It was making kids annoying. And then that's all that they played. Reruns constantly. And that's just what happens to every fucking company that ends up doing stuff like that. And then they start pushing out their most popular content constantly because that's what gets the views. And then they don't make anything good and new.
So DC Comics, that's a big question too. What happens to DC Comics?
CNN.
The last show that I watched on Cartoon Network was Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I'm pretty sure that was the last one. No, I was watching regular show, and I started Adventure Time back when it first aired. I didn't like Adventure Time. I still don't like Adventure Time. Leave me hate down there in the comments for me not liking Adventure Time.
And CNN, they're supposedly doing this. This is like a side tangent, but they're doing this new CNN streaming service after the first thing Zaslav did when he came into Warner Brothers was he got rid of the CNN streaming service that they spent like $500 million on.
Yeah, and now they're restarting the CNN streaming service. Like, what the fuck is going on here? They failed multiple times with a streaming service, and you know what? They're gonna do it again. They're just gonna fail again. I don't get it. Nobody cares. Nobody's interested in that.
$1 million on it, yes, but a month. They had it for a month.
Dude, these old news shows, these news cable shows, are boring. They're fucking boring. Nobody wants to watch that shit. Oh man, I burped. Coffee. Nobody wants to watch that shit. Everybody wants to watch people like Asmongold. Or, God forbid, Hassan Piker.
A month. So burn that money. I bet they wish they had that money now. They burn it because they thought they could make more. And now here they are back to, you know, trying to get people to subscribe. And people are burnt out on subscribing to like 50,000 different platforms. I mean,
we said this was going to happen.
I've been out on streaming platforms since Cuties was a thing on Netflix. And I was just like, all right, well, I'm not going to pay for all these platforms. I'm done with all of them because of what Netflix did. Fuck them all.
But everybody started their own platforms. So it used to be like Netflix and Hulu. And I was like, okay. And then people make content for them. And if you go back on our videos, as soon as we said, oh, HBO's going to have one. And Paramount's going to have one. And they're all,
I remember.
Apple and everybody and their brothers having one. We're like, it's going to be Highlander. They're going to build it just like the blogs, because at the time the blogs were doing this. And they're just going to eat it.
By the way, they just removed Claymore from Crunchyroll, and now there's no place to watch it on streaming. So the only place that you can actually watch it is if you unconventionally acquire it. And this is just the way of the streaming services. If buying isn't owning, you know what I mean?
Each other up, and then you're still going to go back to having one or two. And that's exactly what happened. Disney has Hulu now.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to probably sell out, you know, HBO and that to an investor. It's exactly what we said was going to happen.
Yeah, isn't Disney shutting down Hulu?
And, you know, they just raised the price on HBO Max as they're announcing they're for sale. Yeah, so they're hard up for cash, right? And really the only people I can think of,
but everything's going so good, record profits,
that have the kinds of money and would have the interest would be the Ellisons. Of course, you know, they own Skydance. They bought Paramount.
Dude, this is what people don't understand about like services like Ubisoft and Xbox. They go good, make record profits. Everything's great. But if you're noticing the patterns, you can really see where this is all going. And then eventually, overnight, news hits. Hey, we're fucked.
But I could see Paramount and Warner Brothers actually getting together.
They were saying that they could even team up with somebody. The Ellisons could even team up with somebody else to get Warner Brothers if they needed to. Like they were talking, I forget which one they said about teaming up with, but they had mentioned that if it got too expensive, they wanted to, they could have teamed up with somebody else to get it.
I think they're going to wind up with that. I think they're just trying to get more money is what I think's going on. But here it is, coming from Cartoon Brew. Warner Brothers Discovery has officially confirmed it's fielding offers for a potential sale, acknowledging for the first time that the entertainment giant is on the market after weeks of speculation. The company's board of directors announced Tuesday
that's how it happens.
It has initiated a review of strategic alternatives to maximize.
Announced Tuesday. That 2 days. It took 2 days for this to happen.
Shareholder value following unsolicited interest from multiple parties for both the entire company and just Warner Brothers itself.
Yeah, because they said there are other people that were interested, but you know they rejected the deal from Skydance because they said they wanted more per share, and already they were offering more than what the shares are worth.
Well, the shares are going up. I mean, where are they up to like $5 a share?
My next question is, no, it was like 17 or something at the time. Now it's 18, so it was 17 at the time. Here's my next thing. How many times has Warner Brothers not been sold in the past like 10 years? It's like, what, the third time?
So they went to AT&T. They were part of, they were Time Warner, and then they were part of AT&T, and they were part of AOL. And they get sold all the time. I mean, seriously,
they've been sold. This is like the third time in the past like several years that this company's been sold. I mean, like that tells you something right there.
I think eventually all of their IPs are gonna either be trashed or sold off, and then they're just gonna completely dismember the company, and there just won't be Warner Brothers anymore. And I'm kind of here for it.
Warner Brothers has been passed around more than some kids in Hollywood.
Yeah.
This decision comes as WBD continues to work on its previously announced plan to split into two independent media companies, Warner Brothers Discovery, which makes none of this makes sense, right? Make this make sense. We're going to merge Warner Brothers with Discovery, right?
Right.
Okay, and then we're going to merge those two together, and they don't make any sense because one does like mostly reality TV and live action cheap shit, and the other one's like one of the most storied movie studios in history, entertainment history, right?
I prefer Discovery, but yeah.
Well, okay. But they're gonna.
I prefer Warner Brothers from the 90s. Dude, when we had the Batman cartoons going on, it was top tier. And then going all the way to the Dark Knight movies. Well, the third one was kind of fucked. The end of Dark Knight was kind of fucked because of what happened to, what was his name? Heath Ledger, the guy who played Joker. That sucks. Nowadays, they would have just AI generated him and put him into the movie.
They're going to merge those two together, and then they're going to try to turn it into one cup. Then they're going to split them up. It's just like Zaslav came in. And
You're going to have Warner and Brothers Discovery at this point. It's not going to be Warner Brothers and Discovery. It's going to be Warner and Brothers Discovery. They're going to split it off wrong.
Like, okay, we got CNN streaming. We spent a bunch of money on this. Okay, cancel that. Oh, now we're going to do that. Like, clearly, he doesn't know what he's doing.
No, the splitting up thing, I think, was they're trying to offload everything onto.
You know what happens? This is DEI at the worst, or at its best, I guess. This is what happens when you put DEI in everything and you just make slop that no real people want to watch when you make stuff for a modern audience. Or even worse, actually, because at least they're trying to make something for somebody. A lot of these people want to make something for themselves, and it fucking sucks. Like Joker 2. What the hell was that? Dude, you had such an easy W, and you fucked it up on purpose to own all of the people who liked the first one. Why would you do that? Why did Warner Brothers even allow that to happen? I don't get it.
Wanted to put the debt onto it. It's what I think was going on. Is they were trying to spin off the debt, which we said at the time, and other people said after.
Okay, so
I'm gonna make my own version of Superman, and nobody liked it. Well, I guess Superman fans liked it, but the like people that you needed to reach, people that were barely on board. Superman's kind of a boring character, so you got to do something crazy like Man of Steel, but more over the top than that. And it was just mid. It was just very mid.
Yeah, right. That happens a lot. We seem to do a lot of people's homework for them.
Well, I mean, just the media. It was they were saying it after.
But okay, so this.
I think all the people that think everything that's been going on is good are just social media brain rotted, and they're reading all of the articles from all of the corporate companies that gas up all of the corporations that are making all the slop. And they're like, Superman is the biggest hit of the summer, and they're like, yeah, that movie's great. Yeah, like I don't fucking get it, man. Like with Tron right now, a bunch of people are saying Tron wasn't that bad. Why is everybody hating on it? If you've got anybody in the regular audiences that are saying something's bad, you fucked up. Right there, you fucked up. I'm seeing a lot of people with Tron, they're like, well, Tron failed at the box office. Tron Legacy failed at the box office. This new one failed at the box office. Guess what? That's probably because they keep getting worse. And the first one wasn't that great either, even though I love that movie. It's like a 7 out of 10. And then Tron Legacy is a 6 out of 10. And then Tron Ares is a 5 out of 10. And it's got a whole bunch of DEI woke slop politics in it. And around it. And the people who are in it are also into all that garbage. And they're also a bunch of sex freaks.
This would be like, companies can do this, right? They can spin their debt off into another company. That'd be like that'd be like having a kid and then being, you know what?
Dude, I'm on a fucking rant today on this topic.
Well, you know what, Timmy? I'm going to give you my mortgage and my student loans and my car loans, and that's all in your name now. And Dad's just going to walk away.
Dad's going for milk.
Dad's going for milk, and you get all the debt. And that's how it works. But corporations can do that. Individuals can't do that, but corporations can do it. It's weird. Yeah. So let's see. They're going to split the companies by mid 2026. Oh yeah, and forgot about HBO to HBO Max to Max back to HBO Max. What the hell?
And then Apple was doing the same thing, and now it's Apple. No, I think it was Apple. It was Apple Plus.
Apple
and now
TV, and then Apple TV Plus. Now it's just Apple TV.
And you know how much money they spend each time? I'm thinking they might.
Dude, they spend so much money to change the logos, because when they change the logo, they got to change the logo everywhere. That, like, why would they? I don't get it, man. A bunch of corporate freaks get in and they have no idea what they're doing, and they want to put their mark on the company, I guess. Well, they really put their mark on the company.
Us need like write-offs or something.
Marketing.
So how can we get some kind of like huge write-off or something super stupid?
Yeah, they just want a bunch of marketing and articles to say, hey, HBO changed the name. So then it's in everybody's heads that, oh, there's a new version of HBO. It's going to be so different. And then it's not. And usually it's worse. Even if they get better, it's just a little bit better from when it got worse.
Little. Oh, I know.
Call up that Cracker Barrel agency, and we'll last about 2 months, and then we'll just do it all over again. Anyway, they said the new review expands board scope to include a transaction for the entire company or separate transactions. Okay, this is what's interesting. Or separate transactions for Warner Brothers and or Discovery.
Should I don't think them separately. Is that what they're asking?
Yeah, they can sell them separately.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm wondering if it's going to be like all of Warner Brothers. They might be like, you know what? We'll just sell you DC Comics, or we'll just sell you Cartoon Network.
Well, technically, they could piece everything. I mean,
they could. They've already sold stuff.
That's what I was saying, man.
Like they're buying it.
Eventually, it will happen. If it doesn't happen like that this time, it might happen next time or the time after that. That's usually where all this goes. Whenever they just have years and years of failure, then they just start selling off the IPs and then crumbling the ones that they can't sell.
Out. They want to buy everything?
Yeah, the company may consider an alternative separation structure that would enable a merger of Warner Brothers and spinoff of Discovery Global to our shareholders. They were selling off, they were having a fire sale when this merger happened.
Fire sale.
They were selling back some of their worthless IP, like Rooster Teeth. They sold it back to Bernie Burns and...
Wait. So they're basically their other answer is we're just going to do what we're going to do. We're split it in two companies, and then we're going to sell off the movie one and then keep the Discovery one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as they're keeping Discovery, somebody's keeping it going.
The standard plan now costs $20 per month. What the fuck? Who wants to do that? The premium costs $23. Why? Because it's cheaper than buying movies. But then they remove the shit and they get sold off all the time, and then you just lose shit. And like the service gets enshittified, and they sell off licenses to other companies, and then they remove them from their own. Like, this happens all the time. If you want everything, you've got to purchase all of the streaming services. But even then, they'll do things like Crunchyroll just did with Claymore, and they'll just remove it and not license it out, and then you just don't get to watch that thing that you want. And then you got to buy that if you want to watch it on top of all these streaming services. And you might as well, for the money that you're spending, you might as well just buy them or unconventionally acquire them, because why the fuck wouldn't you do that at this point? It's easier than doing everything else, and it's way cheaper. If I could buy DRM free files online, I would do that, like a GOG service for movies. They've even talked about doing it. And I hope that becomes a thing, especially going forward. That would almost completely dissolve piracy, I think. Because a big problem that piracy has is that whenever you download it and it gets deleted, you may not be able to find it again, or it's really hard, or you get a broken version, or it's like full of viruses, or you know what I mean? If you got a service that's selling them and you can just download them at any point, what if you even have the service where it's like a one-time buy and you get the files, and then if you lose that file, you got to buy it again? That would even work.
That's all I care about, because that's the thing I watch, really.
We continue to make important strides to position our business to succeed in today's evolving media landscape, says Zaslab. It's no surprise that the significant value of our portfolio is receiving increased recognition by others in the market. The move feeds growing rumors around a potential takeover from Paramount Skydance, which Warner Brothers reportedly turned down this month at $20 a share. They're just trying to get more money.
They wanted a lot more money.
Yep. Yep, stock jumped up more than 8% Tuesday. That's what they're doing. A sign that investors are betting real deals could be on the table, even as the company faces...
Well, they better hurry, because as soon as that stock comes back down, you're not even going to be able to sell it at $20 a share.
Pressure to steady its finances.
Here's the kicker, though. The stock might have jumped up on that announcement. depending on how fast they sell it, though, it might go down again based on people pulling their subscriptions because the cost went up.
Yeah.
So they're gonna want to capitalize on that. They want to capitalize on it now, which could explain why they're announcing it and that drove the stock up more. But if they like sit on it too long, and then we get to reports later, they're gonna probably find that it's not as valuable because people probably canceled due to the price increase. So if they're gonna want to sell, they're gonna want to sell sooner rather than later.
Yeah, this is all about drive the price up. I think Skydance is the only legitimate offer. I mean, they might, there might be some other companies that play around with it, but if Skydance is trying to build an entertainment empire, having the Warner Brothers catalog and adding it to Paramount is just like, I mean, yeah, that's as close as you're going to get to knocking out Disney with all the stuff they have. And,
because that's what they're gonna have to do.
Yeah, and Disney's getting way too big, way too powerful to the point where they're gonna end up doing the exact same thing, man. They're just gonna end up announcing one day, shit, we're gonna have to close a whole bunch of studios. We're gonna have to sell off everything
because Disney has Hulu and ESPN and
yes,
and
they're shutting down Hulu. So.
And ironically, Netflix and YouTube are still kicking both their asses. So
I know, right? Well, yeah, to compete, that's what they're going to have to do, though. It's very obvious you can't have every studio having its own little streaming service. They need to merge together and have like a big platform. If you had,
yep, and that's how you get a monopoly or a duopoly or a triopoly. That's how you get entertainment cartels.
Warner Brothers and Paramount and all that, and they got together and just had like a Skydance Max or some crazy shit like that would have all this stuff on it. That actually would be a contender, especially with stuff like South Park, and then over in the HBO side, if they ever get around to doing more Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember when Matt and Trey said that eventually South Park, they're gonna keep making it until it just eventually fizzles out, and then it's just like gonna be forgotten. But I bet they never guessed that it was going to be torn apart by licensing deals.
Whatever spin-offs, I guess they're doing all kinds of shit like that. But where I am concerned is where this leaves animation, because we're already hearing through the grapevine that on the Paramount side, on the Nickelodeon side, people are getting laid off. They're canceling shows. We already know that on the Warner Brothers side, cartoons are not important. Cartoon Network is a shell.
Yeah, it really sucks for Nickelodeon because people just refuse to watch their old stuff for the most part. And SD Classified's pretty good. They need to make a new one. But stuff like Drake and Josh, stuff like iCarly, people refuse to watch because they can notice all the creepy weird shit in it. Because Dan Schneider and a bunch of other creeps were involved. Like, what's his name? Brian Peck? Yeah, fuck all those people. So it makes it really hard to watch all the old stuff. So they got to come up with new stuff. And the new stuff, nobody knows about, and it fucking sucks.
Of its former self. Adult Swim is a shell of its former self. And we know firsthand that the animation industry is not in a good place right now. A lot of people have been out of work for a couple of years. And I think
this looks like something Oni and G would make.
Because Hollywood, when it comes to this kind of stuff, they've been in a holding pattern because it takes years to produce animation. And they're not going to greenlight something that, like the company's going to be sold by the time this damn thing comes out. It's like, we don't know what's going to happen.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the picture because it was clearly done with some kind of AI, because look at the faces of the characters. But I think it's funny that that's all folks is on the bottom of the pants.
Yeah.
And Samurai Jack's facing the threat, which I think is very, very smart right there. Everybody else is like 25% different. It's almost Rigby. It's almost, Johnny Bravo. Anyway.
It's Dorkster and...
Yeah, Dorkster.
Craig's seen some shit.
Gumberg.
Gumberg. This is supposed to be a real illustration. I don't know. It's hard to tell anymore, isn't it? It's hard to tell. But yeah, so there's been a lot of talk about Cartoon Network and DC Comics. And look, if Warner Brothers gets sold, it is very possible that they're going to reboot DC, because Skydance is going to want to do things differently. They're not going to want to.
Well, yeah, but
bro, they just need to move on, do something else, do something new. Holy shit. We don't need another Batman franchise. We don't need another Superman reboot. There's so many. Do something new. They gotta bank on the IP of something that somebody else made before them and then completely ruin it, because they do that every fucking time. Like, holy shit. Just do new stuff. Oh, well, I don't care. I'm not going to fucking watch it. Even if I do, with all of this crazy nonsense and not being able to actually get the services that I want and provide actual good services, I'm just going to unconventionally acquire it anyway. So it doesn't even fucking matter. And the more this shit happens, the more likely people are going to do that too. And then you're not getting any money. What are you going to do? Let's get into some Ghost of Yotei news. And I've got some things to say about it. Because I said it the entire time that the game was going to be good. It's going to be good. But the sales have to be astronomical. They had to be way more than the Ghost of Tsushima. Like, at least double. It had to be at least double. And it didn't get that. And it's still not got that. It's still lower sales. But I think it made more money. Or no, it just didn't get as many players. There was something about it that I predicted, and I don't fucking remember it now because there's been so much news. Oh yeah, it does have less players, but more sales somehow. I wonder what that's all about.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so in today's video, we get the glorious opportunity to talk about Ghost of Antifa again. Now, the reason why we are talking about Ghost of Antifa is because some new news have come out that apparently, according to authority sources, Ghost of Antifa was the #4 best-selling game in the United States for September. Now, obviously, every time we go through these numbers, the typical people come out.
What came out in September? Nothing really. You got Helldivers 2 at #6 on this list. Like, what are we doing here?
Right? The typical people who, for some reason...
You know why there's no games coming out right now? Because this is when GTA 6 was supposed to come out. That's why these games are doing so well. Because there's nothing else. Because everything got moved beyond the launch of GTA 6. By the way, when GTA 6 does finally come out, it's going to shake up the industry. Everything around it, probably not going to get hardly any sales compared to what they need to get.
You know, like Shadowboxing, Grums, and Smash JT, and all those guys. The same people who said literally the same exact thing for all the video games that have failed over the last year plus. Dragon Age of Veilguard failed. FBC Firebreak failed. All these games that they call...
Yeah, Ghost of Yotei, I don't think it actually, in quotes, failed. I just don't think it lived up to the expectations that Sony wanted for their investors. And now everything's relying on Intergalactic better be fucking phenomenal.
Told you grifters for asking questions and acknowledging certain things that just don't make any sense. The moment you do that, the moment you ask any questions, you're not allowed to do that, by the way. The moment you do that, you're a grifter, you're this, you're that, whatever. So here we are. We got a post from Genki. Shout out to Genki. I don't have any hate for Genki or anything. I'm just using their post. Ghost of Antifa was the #4 best-selling game in the US for September. Sales were basically in line with Ghost of Tsushima.
That's not good.
I love...
And that's what I fucking said, dude. I got so much hate. And I think it was mostly from people that were like, oh, this guy doesn't like Ghost of Yotei, and he didn't play it. So I'm just going to say that he hates it. I've never said that. I never said that. All I said was it's not going to meet expectations, and it's going to be a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 at best, and I'm not interested in it. I'm not going to play it, and I'm just talking about culture. Like, they do not get it. They don't get it.
That they utilize certain terminology that make it seem as if it is similar to the game that everybody actually cares about, but they don't actually tell you exactly where it falls. And this is why I will always question the narrative, right? Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm always willing to admit it. But the truth is that, and I've admitted it before, by the way, not often, but I've admitted it before. It's not my fault. You guys keep failing. But this particular situation has a lot of suspicious things that I want to go over in this video. I'm also going to bring up the Famitsu numbers because we have an update on how the game is performing in Japan. By the way, a spoiler alert, it's terrible. But
look at this list of games. Borderlands 4, #1. By the way, not meeting expectations, nowhere near. NBA 2K26 is #2. And then you got EA Sports. Then you got Ghost of Yotei. Then you got Madden 26, Helldivers 2, Silent Hill F, Sonic Racing. Like, Silent Hill F, that's a good game, but that's a horror game. So people who just don't like horror games are completely out on it anyway. But Sonic Racing is on the list. You got Final Fantasy Tactics. That's basically a fucking remake. Metal Gear Solid Delta, another remake. EA Sports, it's another sports game. Digimon Story, I don't know anybody who's actually playing this, but I've heard it's really, really good. Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. Like, what is this? Of course, Borderlands 4 and Ghost of Yotei are going to be at the top of the list. Minecraft is here. That game is over a decade old. It's like 15 years old at this point.
We are going to go over all of this right now. So Ghost of Antifa, number 4, okay? Who is number 1? Borderlands 4. That's obvious. You could tell by the sales. The game obviously did sell fairly decent. But Borderlands 4 is in a very...
I never said that it wasn't. I just said it wasn't going to meet expectations. They spent $400 million plus on it, and they have to make at least double that. And they're just not going to meet that. Ever. Like, it's not going to happen ever. Everybody who was going to buy this game at full price bought it at full price. They even tried to get people on board by throwing it on sale. And it didn't even work.
Similar situation. Borderlands 4 is experiencing degradation of franchise, right? Something I talk about in many videos. Just like Ghost of Yotei is slowly experiencing the same exact thing. They're in the same boat. Borderlands,
yeah, even though it's the second game. You're competing with Helldivers 2 and Madden NFL 26 and another, EA Sports FC. You're competing with a bunch of sports games. What are we doing here?
4 sold half of what Borderlands 3 sold. Ghost of Yotei sold half of what Tsushima did. They try to convince you that it sold the same, but I'm going to explain why I don't believe that. If you look at this list, Borderlands 4, NBA 2K26, EA Sports FC 26, Ghost of Antifa, Madden NFL 26, and Helldivers 2 and Silent Hill F. Okay? Helldivers 2 is on this list. Guys, I want you guys to understand something. This list is purposely vague in a multitude of different ways for a reason. Okay? Number 1, this list is as useless as the Steam top seller list. The reason why I never go by the Steam top seller list is because if you guys don't know this information, I'm going to explain this to you. Steam's top seller list does not go by copies sold. Steam's top seller list goes by revenue, dollar amount. So AAA games automatically have an advantage over non-AAA games that are not asking for the same price, right? So because Ghost of Antifa is like a $70 game and has like an ultimate edition, it's probably like $100 or whatever. That immediately puts it way up there, that it doesn't have to sell nowhere near the same amount of copies in order to reach a higher point on the top, right? Now, obviously, revenue is still an important number, and we can talk about that because this game definitely made its money back, in my opinion, right? This game definitely, if it hasn't, it's going to. No doubt about it, it's going to.
True, but it didn't meet expectations for investors. This needed to be a cultural phenomenon.
Break even. But the thing is, it's a difference between breaking even and barely getting by versus Ghost of Tsushima that blew the fucking budget out the water within the first like 48 hours. There's a very big difference between that. And this is degradation of franchise. Now,
and I remember when Ghost of Tsushima came out, it was a cultural phenomenon. And then the second one wasn't. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Games are obviously more expensive, number 1. Number 2, this is a revenue sheet, right? This is a revenue sheet, so it goes by dollar amount. Now, why do I find this to be very sus? Because Helldivers 2 is number 5, right? They don't tell you how much the difference is. They don't tell you that Ghost of Yotei is number 4 by XYZ dollars. All they do is tell you Ghost of Yotei is number 4. The reason why they do this is because if they show you the difference, then people will realize just how bad things are. I'm going to use small numbers as an example, okay? Let's say Ghost of Antifa made $1 million in revenue. Obviously, it made way more than that, but I'm using small numbers so that you guys can follow along in the video. Helldivers 2, let's say Helldivers 2 made $980,000 in revenue, and Ghost of Antifa made $1 million. How would that look in comparison to saying Helldivers 2 is number 6 and Ghost of Antifa is number 4? Obviously, it looks a lot better if you take the number away and you only put it on a chart. This is one of the reasons why they do this, is because it makes the games look better. It makes it a lot simplistic for people so they don't have to understand the revenue and all the numbers and everything like that. But obviously, if you knew...
And it makes people who are a part of this culture feel really good about themselves because it gaslights them into thinking that they're part of a cultural phenomenon, even though it definitely fucking wasn't. You know what the cultural phenomenon was? How many people hated this game because they were basically supporting terrorism.
Real numbers, you would realize just how close these games are to each other, and this is not as good as it probably looks. Also, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that Ghosts of Yotei is a new released game, and Helldivers 2 has been out forever. And yet Helldivers 2 is only 2 slots behind Ghosts of Antifa? Does anybody else think that's highly suspicious?
Also, Silent Hill F is a new version of a franchise, like kind of a reboot of the franchise a little bit. Like, it's a new game, and it's a horror game set in Japan. So it's automatically not going to be able to hit #1 just because of all the people who aren't going to play a horror game.
Not only that, Helldivers 2, if you guys are not aware, is a cheaper game by a large margin, $39.99. It's a $39.99 game, whereas Ghosts of Antifa is a $70 game at standard price. So you have a game that is worth way more money that has to sell less copies in order to get a higher ranking on the list. Whereas this game is cheaper, so it's got to sell more copies to get a higher ranking on the list. This is how these revenue lists work. And this is why I don't believe any of these things, right? So this is the number for September, okay? And it's purposely curated to make it look better. Not only that, you also have lack of information, right? So if you guys are not aware, you have Nintendo digital sales that are not given to this company, right? Circana does not have access to the digital sales for Nintendo. They tell you this in very small font at the bottom with the asterisk next to all the Nintendo games. They tell you digital sales are not included for the marked titles, which is digital.
So that means that they would have higher numbers. Okay. That they should be higher and push some of these down.
Sales on Nintendo platforms. So these games could be much higher than this.
Yep.
But because they don't have that information, guess where Ghosts of Antifa gets to go? Higher up, right? So all of this is meant to be curated as a means to push the numbers without actually giving you the numbers. One thing that is very blatantly missing from this list is how many copies sold. Where are the copies? Where are the numbers? Nowhere. And the reason why they do this, all of this, is so that people, right? People like this, again, it's no offense to Genki, I don't hate the guy or whatever, just using his post as an example. All these people can take this and then they could say, this is a top-selling game. Oh, the grifters were wrong.
Sure, you can say that. We're not wrong, and we're not grifters. We're saying what we think, and so far, we've been right, and people don't watch our videos, and then they say that we're just hating. And it's like, no, we are pointing out flaws. Well, how do you know it's bad if you haven't played the game? I never said it was bad. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about sales and numbers and manipulation and politics around the product. That's the culture. This is literally cultural. Like, I don't give a shit about this game. I don't care what's in it. I really don't.
Right?
But I'm just going to say, like, when we look back at this years in the future, you know what people are going to think? Nothing, because they're going to forget about this game, because it's not going to be relevant.
Start attacking everybody and start calling people grifters, this, that, and the third, right? I'll give you a prime example. This person, Oliver Darko, says boycott failure. And just like that, Grum, Smash JT, and Asmongold look for their next target. I don't know why Asmongold is in there, considering he bought the game and played the game. But again, these people shadowbox the idea of what you are. They fight you on Twitter, even though they don't actually know what you are.
Yep.
They fight what they perceive you to be. So
yep.
they're throwing Asmongold in there just because he's considered to be the right-wing chud leader. And
yep.
that's why they do that. Now, again, boycott.
Dude, I just got into an argument with somebody on Threads. Yes, I know. I was on Threads. Leave me hate down there in the comments for using Threads. But I got into an argument with somebody on Threads telling me, it was literally telling me, how do you know the game's bad if you haven't played it? And I'm like, where the fuck did I say that the game was bad? Nowhere. I was just saying that it's not going to live up to expectations for the investors. Literally what I fucking said in the post. He just could not get off of, like, what he was perceiving me to be. It's just like, bro, and I'm not going to play it. I'm literally talking about this game because I'm seeing if I want to play games. And if I determine that it is bad, I tell everybody that. And not bad for you, bad for me. Bad for me. And bad for the culture. That's what I talk about. I don't care if you think it's a 10 out of 10. I think you're lying and you're gaslighting and you're gassing it up for, I don't know, internet points. I don't give a fuck about internet points. I'm just going to say what I think. And I think that this game would be a 7 out of 10 if I played it. And if you think that I'm wrong in thinking that I would think that it's a 7 out of 10, go fuck yourself. Because that's my review on what I'm seeing from it. Not my review of playing it. I'm not IGN. I'm not going to play every single game. I'm not Asmongold. I'm not going to play these shit games. I'm not going to buy them. I'm not giving these freaks any money. And then it's just going to sit in my library for me to never play again. No, fuck that. I'm going for the cultural phenomenons. I'm going for, like, franchises that I love also. They made a shit Resident Evil game, I'd say that. So far, they haven't done that. Even Resident Evil 5 and 6, I fucking loved those games when they came out, and I still love them. And people trashed the fuck out of them and said, Resident Evil's dead. But I knew that it wasn't, because they were fun. And there was no bullshit politics around it, even though people wanted to put it in there. They wanted to pretend like there was politics in it, and that Resident Evil 5 was racist. Now they're still doing that shit. But instead, it's backwards. Now they say if I don't like their bullshit game, that I'm racist. You're like, go fuck yourself, dude. Go fuck yourself. No thanks. And speaking of gaming culture shifting, and all entertainment culture is shifting, we got another one, ladies and gentlemen. We got another one, and we called it. And it's just one of the dominoes that are they're all about to fall, dude. We are the media now. All these corporate freaks are losing.
I used to pray for times like this.
So good.
I used to say, Jesus, deliver me from this evil. And oh Lord, is he coming? Oh God. Oh my God, it's actually happening. Gentlemen, is it time?
I just want to say, called it! We called it! Dude, so good.
Oh man. God. How does this keep happening? You hate to see it.
Yeah, how do we keep predicting all of this keeps happening? It's almost like we noticed a pattern and we called it ahead of time. Especially, like, dude, anything that anybody, when we say it's bad, they're like, no, fuck you! You're wrong! You're just a chud! You're a racist! Well, that's the one that's going. All right. Let's have it.
Yeah. And so, here we go, guys. Let me go back. I'll read the article. And so, Valnet-owned website TheGamer suffers widespread editorial layoffs. Excuse me. Holy, like, what, bro, I don't even feel comfortable looking at this website. I don't even want to look at it.
That was fucking weird. Why were they selling baby dolls for a gaming website like that? Okay.
I'm just going to take their word for it.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
And
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, just what is this? A fucking ad for the new Chucky movie? Holy shit! And so anyway, uBlock. I haven't. Oh, you're right. I don't have uBlock. uBlock Origin. Oh, okay, give me a second. uBlock Origin Lite. Okay, and this is for Firefox.
And this is part of the problem, dude, that we have to use ad blocker services in order to see content that we want to see without seeing a bunch of degenerate bullshit.
Okay, there we go. Add to Firefox. There we go. It's been added. All right. So hopefully now it's going to work, okay? Wow.
There we go.
Normal. Okay. So, video game website, TheGamer. And by the way, these people are absolute, like, bro, these people don't.
And there you go. Right there. Top critic average, 80 out of 100. Yep. I don't know what this score is, 5.7 out of 10, but you got a 4 out of 5. All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't make slop. They are a hog farm.
Yep.
This is insane. Like, they come up with garbage all the time. All the time they come up with garbage. What's an editorial layoff? They're firing the people that write the stupid articles. So we're going to come up with it, and I'm going to just pull up the website right now, okay? TheGamer. Okay, and so we're going to find out what some of these articles are, and we're going to see, here we go. Let's see, what are some, does it show any popular articles? Like, are there any popular latest articles? So this is, oh, there's another one here. I don't know if I can really find them, but they have retard articles written all the time, right? And it's very annoying.
They might have removed them. They might have removed all the retard articles because they know that was fucking killing them. Oh. Pokemon Legends, ZA review. I love it too much to hate it. The fuck? What? Ubisoft is encouraging developers to leave. Oh, man. Okay, alright. Let's go.
I don't like this website very much. I think that they're very biased. And
they're definitely not the worst one, though.
Anyway, so we're sending more of them back to McDonald's. We are. They're being sent back to McDonald's.
You know what's going to happen? All the other companies are going to just scoop up all of the people that got laid off from this company and going to make it worse. It's going to make it worse for the other companies.
They are experiencing widespread layoffs, according to former staff. On Wednesday, several former members of the site's editorial teams took to social media to announce that they had been laid off. According to multiple former employees speaking anonymously, entire sections have been, quote, decimated.
Let's go.
Wow. According to those still at the outlet, TheGamer will continue in a slimmed-down form. Those who remain aren't clear on how that will manifest. According to staff that spoke at VGC, these layoffs have been expected, but the scale has surprised even those still at the site. VGC has reached out.
Really? It's a surprise? That's what you get for calling all of the people criticizing you haters and labeling us as Nazis and racist. Like, this is what you fucking get. You get what you fucking deserve. You were lying. We weren't. We were saying how we felt. And you were saying lies based on your feelings. And what we felt was that this was all bullshit. That it was all shit. It was garbage. Gaslighting, pandering. And look at where it got you. And this is just the beginning.
Valnet for comment, and I'm assuming there is no comment. So Valnet unfortunately let go of the entire Gamer Features team today, along with several other staff members. Many incredibly talented and hardworking writers I've seen the pleasure of working with after the last several years. TheGamer, and you can see, by the way, Rhiannon the Witch at Blue Sky. Sorry. You're going to have to go back to the crystal shop and start selling rocks again. Maybe you can read people's tarot cards too, because nobody wants to see your game reviews.
Yep. Get these freaks out of our culture. Look at that flag. Look at that flag she got there. Get fucked.
That's it. You're going to go back to sell. Like, we have a big issue is that, and the thing is that a lot of these girls, back in the day, they would be living in a swamp selling mushrooms. But now they have a computer. And the damage that that's caused to society has just been unfathomable. I don't even know how much that we can even say. She's still there. Wait. No. She's still there. Everyone being laid off today. Fuck. All right. We gotta. Oh God, bro. We gotta wait for the next one then. I'll be waiting.
She's gonna go. She's gonna be gone. There's no way.
I'll be waiting. No, it's all right. I'll be waiting. No, it's fine. It's fine. She got more time. Like, well, now, honestly, she should be saying thank you. Who remains at the site? She should be saying thank you because I've given her career advice.
Yeah, she needs to remove this whole blue sky thing. Yeah, this has got to go. Got to remove that flag. Stop talking about being a witch.
Because I think that you know where you're going.
Yep.
I know where you're going.
The
We
hell?
all know where you're going.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen.
McDonald's.
And you know it. It might not have happened yet.
They might let you be a manager.
But yeah, that's it. And no, exactly. Say thank you. Yeah, honestly, she should be saying thank you in this regard. This is, completely free career advice. And so, anyway, these job losses are in the latest of what's been a difficult period in games media. In May, the popular outlet Polygon was sold to Valve.
Did you notice that pop-up that popped up that he had immediately clicked on to get it away? Like, he almost knew what to do as soon as it popped up. That's the problem with these websites, dude. I mean, that's like the problem with the actual website. The articles and shit, that's bad too. And the videos that get put out and like what gets posted on social media, that shit's bad. But like all these pop-ups, even people that like your site don't go to your site because of all this, all the ads and pop-ups and bullshit. And like trying to get you to sign up to the newsletter and like pay a subscription. Nope. Get fucked.
And so there's another one in May. The cult favorite video game outlet Giant Bomb featured staff departures. Other leading publications such as IGN and Gamer Network, which own sites like Eurogamer, have also experienced job losses. So, gentlemen.
Yep, and it's going to happen more and more and more. And I think we're going to see a whole bunch of publications just shut down.
Once
and
again,
Game Informer's one of them. They ain't going to survive. They just started back up and they're already pandering to the woke mob.
And we are sending them all back.
Let's go.
They're all going back. Isn't it funny how this is how we actually treat garbage? We don't compost it or deal with it correctly at all. Yes. And so anyway, you go around and you look at this. Hate to see it. And everybody is thinking this shit is funny. Everybody is glad that these people are getting fired. And here's the reason why everybody hates these gaming media companies, right? These gaming media journalists. It's because you're lying retards that misrepresent everything and you tell people things that aren't true.
Yep. And then the people who are actually giving criticism are labeled as haters. Like what keeps happening to me. Whenever I criticize games that I'm not going to play, they're like, well, maybe you should play them first. I'm like, well, it hasn't captured me, and that's what I'm talking about. The fact that it hasn't captured me and I'm not going to play them. And keep getting mad. Keep getting mad. I don't care. The dominoes keep falling.
That's the reason why people don't like you. It's simple. You're just lying retards. If you weren't lying retards, people would like you. But you are, and people don't like you. They push an agenda. Yeah, exactly, right? It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, they'll release articles. It's like, Ghost of Yotei hate is unjustified. And it's just like, no, that is not the article you should be making. You should be making an article of like, this is why there's so many people that dislike this game. And then they lay out the actual facts and not just call everybody a bunch of hating racist chuds. Bunch of Nazi freaks. Like it's projection every fucking time. I'll tell you that. They don't want to hear criticism. They'd rather just label it all as hate. And then everybody who says 10 out of 10, they're like, yep, it's a 10 out of 10. We're going to gas up these people, even though they don't fucking play real stuff. They don't actually engage in real culture. They engage in the culture of being degenerate freaks, first and foremost.
It's super annoying. Zero trust. Yeah, zero trust, zero anything. And I think people are just fucking tired of it, honestly. I think that's what's happened.
Yeah, people like me left the gaming industry long ago. I've been completely out. Like, I'll buy some of the great games from the franchises that I like, and that's about it. definitely going to be buying Resident Evil 9. I buy every Resident Evil game because they have yet to fail me. If there's a Terraria 2 that comes out, probably get that. You know, a game like Project Zomboid every once in a while comes out, I get those. Some retro games that I used to love when I was a kid, they come back out again, I'll get those. When Dead Island Definitive Edition dropped, I got them.
And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm very glad, actually, to see this happen. I think that more and more of this needs to happen, and I think it will continue to happen. And that is an amazing thing, I would say. So anyway, let's keep going. The Gamer has been is getting gutted. They're losing editorial staff. I will be listen, guys. McDonald's is maybe actually I don't know if McDonald's is even hiring anymore. Maybe they can do DoorDash, right? And so, are you doing all right? Your skin has weird colored spots. I do have a colored spot right here, something like that. Yes, I do. I think that really the problem that I have, maybe actually, let me see. Is my skin fucked up? Let me see. No, totally fine. What do you mean? You get me worried. There's this right here. This a little zit. You want me to pop it? I'll start bleeding. I can't. I get in trouble. And yeah, I don't know why even that happened. Yeah, that's it. And so yeah, it's just that one little thing. And that's
Yep. Well, that's where I'm gonna leave it. If you want to see what else he's got to say about this, like, it's there for you, man. I got a link down there in the description. I'm so glad this is happening. Culture is doing a major 180 right now. All right, well, now I'm gonna find out if Outer Worlds 2 is worth me playing. I know it's not worth me buying, but is it worth me playing? Is it worth me getting a Game Pass subscription just to play this game? Probably not. I'd probably rather buy it anyway, or maybe wait for it on sale if it's actually good. But here's my guess. It's mid. It's not bad. It's not good. Definitely not great. And it's definitely not a spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas like they tried to say the first one was, and it definitely wasn't. Although I did kind of enjoy it, it was just missing a lot of soul, and it really was not a spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas. And people are gassing the fuck up this game. So you know what that means. It's probably not going to meet expectations. So let's see what Mr. Matty Plays has to think about this. 'Cause he played it for a while.
Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today. Hope you're all doing absolutely excellent. And today, we're finally gathering to talk about The Outer Worlds 2. How did it do? I've logged 30 hours, not done yet, but I've got a lot to say in these first impressions. Now, Outer Worlds 2 is out tomorrow if you buy the really expensive.
Already red flag is the colors. The colors are flat and they're teal, and it looks too 3D animated. There's not enough style, not enough differentiation between other games. And it looks like it's a prettified BioShock kind of vibe with the boxes and stuff. And I'm just not into it.
Premium edition. Otherwise, you can pick it up.
Yeah, dude. There's fucking every single time.
Premium edition.
The purples and the teals and the turquoise, it's like color slop all the time. And then everything else around it is just flat and brown and orange, which would be great for everything to be flat, brown, and orange if that was the vibe. But they also got to throw in these colors to catch your eye. And I fucking hate it, man.
Otherwise, you can pick it up October 29th, $70, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. Or, of course, it's on Game Pass. Now,
am I looking at Borderlands 4 right now? Because that's what it looks like. They all look the same. All these games look the fucking same.
There's a lot to be said about how The Outer Worlds 2 hit every conceivable landmine leading into its launch. Whether it was the fault of Obsidian or Xbox, it was not smooth. Everything from hands-on previews like the one I participated in a couple of months ago that just felt very cagey and lacked confidence, all the way to the pushed $80 price tag, or the hardly convincing Companions trailer that came out during...
Do they put a filter on every single area you go in? Because it seems like there's a color filter. Everything's got the same kind of color vibe. And that's just not how things work, man.
Gamescom opening night live. It's been messy, to say the least. But perhaps worst of all was the concern growing around the quality of Obsidian's RPGs, and that was with Avowed at the top of this year, which I also reviewed.
Yeah.
The problem for many was that Obsidian was making non-RPG games better than what they were known for. I've never really co-signed the idea that Obsidian's a bad studio now, like I see so many saying.
No, it's just mid. It's just a mid studio. It'd be better if they were a bad studio.
In the comments, games like Pentiment, Grounded, Grounded 2, all have reviewed exceptionally from fans and critics alike, and the latter in Grounded has sold better than almost anything else Obsidian has done. Where I do align with people is the uncomfortable feeling I got when we played Avowed, and it was a lackluster RPG. More importantly...
Yeah, and everybody tried to gas me up, tried to gaslight me into thinking that I was a bad person for not saying that this was a 10 out of 10. And I never said that it's like a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. You can look back. All I did was complain about the characters, complain about the colors, complain about the mid gameplay where it was kind of just trying to stroll you along just so you could have an experience in this game. And bleh. And the story was off. The writing was bad. The characters were static. And like, it just looks bad, plays bad, feels bad, but not like actually bad. Just like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 bad. Which is worse than actual bad, because actual bad is fun a lot of times, and it's funny.
The writing was straight up bad, the companions uninteresting, and the world was incredibly static. It felt old, dated, like Obsidian had been lapped at their own game. From there, I said on Defining Duke that Obsidian's RPGs should be on watch. It's no longer how it was with the likes of KOTOR 2, New Vegas, South Park, and The Outer Worlds 1, where I feel you could take it to the bank and expect some level of greatness. So I say all of that to say, I think a lot of pressure fell to The Outer Worlds 2 to deliver, especially for me because a lot of my confidence in their future RPGs really hinged on this game. Were to have missed...
Oh, God, man, I just don't like the colors.
Obsidian would have been on a...
They really clash, and then also the sky is green, and there's too much green. Like, they do not know how to do colors. And so many companies do this exact same shit. Like, if you change the colors to normal colors, it looks like every other Unreal Engine game. I'm sorry. I think that's literally the reason why they made it look like this, is to make it look different than all the other Unreal Engine games, but it just has that Unreal vibe. And it's not Unreal Engine's fault, because you can make stuff look different. It's just they all use the same tools at these corporations, and it makes everything look the same, because they're trying to cut corners and save money, because they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars.
RPG redemption. Fortunately for me, after 30 hours with The Outer Worlds 2, I've been really digging it. And if there was one way I could put it into a nutshell for all of you to understand where my brain is at with this game, it's everything I wanted from Starfield. A Mass Effect cross Fallout RPG.
Okay.
It's exactly that, and it just has scratched that part of my brain and
I don't like the way that character looks.
My heart in a way that
I don't like the colors.
I can't help but be addicted to the game. I've been playing 5-6 hours a night easily ever since I started putting my hands on my first playthrough, and I went in skeptical, jaded, and by the end...
Okay, this looks good. This right here, this looks amazing.
Of my second
Actually,
session,
like, this looks like probably what Borderlands 4 should have been.
I think they might got it. So I'm one of the...
Better than Starfield, most definitely. I think Avowed was better than Starfield.
Rare people who enjoyed Starfield at launch, but it's undeniable that it was missing 3 core pillars that make Bethesda games worth playing, in my opinion, and that's exploration, role-playing mechanics, and good loot. And it's these 3 things that The Outer Worlds 2 thrives on, which has made it one of my favorite games of the year. So
okay, they might have fixed the colors, because they're not like they desaturated a little bit, and I like what's going on here in the background. Yeah, oh, okay. I might be wrong about this one. Well, not exactly wrong, but I might shift a little bit. It might be an 8 out of 10.
Far. Planets are dense and explorable with meaningful content everywhere, while also being big enough to just get lost in, to wander around in, to see something in the distance and go check it out. They also have their own step-out moments that allow the art team to flex a little bit, alongside just showing off the scale of this game, which I was not ready for. The game is constantly reacting to me, whether it be skill check.
Okay, I don't like the characters again. The character is very off.
And dialogue.
And also the filter for everything, and then it's not on the character again. See, I'm going to have complaints, and I'm also going to gas it up a little bit.
object interaction. Loot is exciting because the rare things you actually do find play differently than the standard weaponry that you are typically using. And so the unique loot in this game is no longer strictly dependent on...
This looks like an upgraded version of a Borderlands 1 area where you fight the Guardians for the first time. That's what this area looks like, and I dig it. And it seems like they really did desaturate it slightly. But I also don't like the teal filter that they got on this whole area.
On the science weapons, but rather a lot of the modifications that you get for these weapons that allow all of them to function differently. This allows for a lot more build crafting, but also, just to be frank, like exciting exploration, fun build crafting, because you just get these new toys and you want to find new ways to use them. But because the game doesn't allow you to respec every 2 seconds like every other game does, you have to be very deliberate about your build choices. As a sci-fi fan who loves role-playing titles, but also this sense of openness and exploration,
right here, I don't like this. It's too much green and it's like color slop.
that's why Starfield like missed so much for me in a lot of areas, and that sense of emptiness never really left me, to the point where here we are 2 years later and I'm still talking about that feeling. But I think
this looks fucking amazing right here. This looks fucking amazing. With the planet up in the sky, the way the night sky looks, there's no color filter on.
Finally, the void has been filled. Keep in mind though, I also did really love The Outer Worlds 1. So will you...
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was all right. It was no Fallout New Vegas for me, but that's one of my favorite games of all time. So it's going to be kind of hard to top that. And I don't think that the new remaster or whatever that's rumored is going to be nearly as good as the original. They're going to get rid of the heart and soul of it.
Like this, if you...
Like the Oblivion remaster did for me.
You didn't like The Outer Worlds 1. I just did a full retrospective of it on Retro Rebound this year, and I still think the first game is charming and replayable.
I do like whatever her name is right here. I did like this character. She was cool. Parvati.
Still, some issues with the game do crop up. For instance, companions outside of Parvati are mostly lower tier. The DLC does save characters like Ellie, who otherwise had, I think, little place in the story, which is funny compared to the game's original marketing. Other issues were things like combat, which was just so boring because no matter...
And it seems like they really fixed the color slop for the most part, and that was one of my main complaints.
No matter what you did, it was just easy, and I think some of the DLC ameliorates that, but it still was too little too late. Flaws were a cool idea that gave the series a sense of identity, but I ultimately skipped on almost all of them because they always seemed very much self-sabotaging, and that just wasn't fun as a player. The game's role-playing mechanics, while strong as a skeleton, were reduced thanks to a leveling system that made you great at everything, and skill checks that lean too hard in favor of the illusion of choice, where any build would pass by many of them, and in turn, a supposed unique solution would just become available to everyone, and as an RPG fan, that didn't feel too great.
Hold on. Not this guy. Fucking hate this guy. I like this guy's design. This old dude with the mining helmet. Good design for a character. And it's just like a basic character.
Everyone, and as an RPG fan, that didn't feel too great. And while it was not the case for me, the writing style being constantly driven through dark comedy definitely became a turnoff for many people as they chugged through the game. Or at the very least, it became less replayable for them.
Yeah, it got old pretty quick. Especially with like everything being dark comedy.
Yeah, I never said it was perfect, but The Outer Worlds 1 is a game that I really love. So with all of the issues laid out for the game, does The Outer Worlds 2 address that? Are you getting something really different here? I think I may have some good news for you. In many ways, The Outer Worlds 2 is a bigger, better version of the first game. If you felt like there was some stuff that was untapped in the first game, I feel like they...
This is all right character. She looks like an older character. She's not very pretty, but you know, I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, I need every female to have giant tits and have the smoothest skin. Smooth skin. Like, I'm an actual fan of old Bethesda games, and that's kind of what this is supposed to be, is like a new Bethesda game. Even though it was from Obsidian, the people who made Fallout New Vegas. But you know, you get what I mean. The old Bethesda characters were garbage. They just had really good writing.
Just completely poured on in this game. It definitely listened to the feedback of the game's tone, grounding it in something a lot more serious and personal. It still has a sense of ridiculousness constantly, thanks to its quirky factions.
I didn't like that guy. I don't like nose rings.
That I'll get into a little bit later. but there's a level of high stakes with the plot here that did make me buy in. The characters and the
What the fuck? What are these characters?
struggles they have feel very real. And again, that allowed me to buy into this universe more. It's a little bit of what Parvati did for me with the first game. Yes, I have people from Spacer's Choice trying to sell me things as they're dying, but at the same time, Parvati's love story.
I really like Parvati design. She's really cool. I wish they kind of would have stuck more with this energy.
Was just so interesting and so wholesome that just brought me in deeper. I think the game understands that people have.
Is this a male or a female?
Had some issues with the constant attempts at comedy and did try to ground itself again in something.
Like, obviously, gaming of old, this is obviously a male. But I don't know, man. They mix it up so much now. Like, this could be a female. I don't know.
A lot more serious, which is a war. The role-playing in this game is, I'm going to be frank, a complete deconstruction of Fallout New Vegas. From its leveling system, bumping individual skills and perks that you unlock every couple levels, to its skill checks providing unique solutions. Like, I just really did have...
This character's fine. She's not very pretty, but once again, like, I don't have to have every character be pretty. I just want at least some of them, and I don't want them to be absolutely fucking uggos trying to be presented as being pretty.
This game running through my brain constantly while playing it. And I don't say that lightly. I don't know if it's as good yet, so please don't misinterpret it, but Obsidian absolutely studied what made New Vegas so good to make Outer Worlds 2. I think the best thing I can say in a year that gave us the likes of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is it really felt like the Outer Worlds 2 so far has been constantly reacting to me. The only thing I haven't really seen yet are like the end states. Like, okay, I did these side quests. Like,
I want mods that can allow me to change the way the characters look slightly, and I want some color filter mods to pretty much either change the color filters or get rid of them outright.
Where do these characters end up by the end of the game? How do things move forward? How does the game talk to me about the things that I did? But in the short term, in the midterm, you do get a lot of...
I don't like this character, man. I'm just gonna keep talking about it, how I just don't like the designs of the characters and this fucking color filter.
But the amount of just skill checks provided in dialogue alone for perks you...
This one's fine. Like, his face matches the fact that he has gray hair and a gray beard.
Have
for the most part.
Skills you have is unreal, and it feels like the game is just always
What the fuck, man?
Providing unique solutions for what's ahead. I would not put it on the level of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 at all, but I would say that it's a very competitive choice-based RPG.
And see, this character's fine.
In a genre that has gotten increasingly tough to kind of crack through to that high quality bar. But I also love that the skill checks take place outside of dialogue. This is something that Fallout has done for a while, but I feel like so many other games are allergic to outside of the likes of, say, Larian with Baldur's Gate 3, where you can actually interact with objects in the environment. If your skills are high enough, you could find wholly unique solutions to quests.
I do like that.
Alone, or accessing unique information. The game is constantly logging this information on the back end. If you read a terminal log, it'll say this will be remembered. If you talk to a companion, it'll say this will be remembered. And this information, when you're digging for it, can be expressed in quest lines where you can ask characters unique questions or make unique comments to them because you have access to that information because you invested yourself in somewhere else. And because of
all right, I think you just about sold me. I think I'm probably going to get this game. I'm not going to get it full price, though, because the Outer Worlds 1 situation, when that happened, it was fucking broken whenever the actual definitive version came out. It was worse than the original release version. Like, that looked like shit. So I'm going to wait a while, but I think I'm going to get this. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully Obsidian gets better at this and actually makes games that people want to play and not just games that they want to build an agenda and then build a game around that agenda.
That, again, it feels like the game's just always speaking to you. It doesn't mean that everything you do is going to be a wholly unique quest line and solution to it, but again, it feels like the game is always reacting to the actions I'm taking, and I think that's the signs of a really great RPG. But if you're wondering, like, can you be a complete deranged psychopath, kill everyone, destroy towns? Like, yes, there's a reputation meter in the game, and I have yet to see...
I don't really care about that, though, because I didn't really do that in Fallout New Vegas either.
What happens when you get fully in a negative with a faction, but I know when you're like trusted by them, they'll give you better vendor prices, but I have yet again to see what that end state is like. I also will just add in here with the reputation system that so far after 30 hours, it hasn't been a bit of a push and pull kind of system where like I help Auntie's choice, therefore the protectorate doesn't like me. It's more
What the fuck? What is this chick? I not a bad design. I like it actually. It's like reminiscent of Tim Burton.
like you do something with Auntie's choice and they like it, but even if it negatively impacts the protectorate, I haven't seen, for example, that meter go down much. So I feel like
I don't know. I think this might end up like it's definitely not a 7 out of 10. It's definitely not a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. I think it's going to land on an 8 out of 10, which I think is enough to get me to get this game when it's on sale. Not even like a deep sale. I might just get it whenever it's, you know, $20, $30 off. Probably around next summer.
I think it's been a bit difficult to get into the negative graces of another faction based on choices I'm making for one or the other. So again, that's where like we'll do a final verdict video next week when I'm done with the game. But right now,
there's something weird about this chick. Oh, I know what it is. Her head's too small. Or maybe her body's too big. Other than that, I like this character design.
now I have to see where these end states end up because they could definitely push me all the way over the top and be like, oh my god, they did it.
Oof,
it could also
this place looks good.
push me in a direction.
This reminds me of BioShock mixed with like Megaton from Fallout 3.
Like, okay, so it's a great game that's reacting to you, but there are some shortcomings. I also have to say they have made the flaw system way, way better. So much better, dude. Like, it's actually...
Okay.
Okay, so
I thought the flaw system was a great idea, but implemented kind of meh. Yeah, if they made it better, good.
Played the Outer Worlds 1 multiple times now, and I literally never touched the flaws. I don't know if I'm crazy for that, but I never touched the flaw system.
Yeah, I tried to touch the flaw system. I didn't like it.
While with the Outer Worlds 2, I have taken on so many because it's that tug of war that I think the flaw system should be. The sort of, okay, I'm losing something here. Like, I'm taking 20% more damage from auto mechanicals, but I'm also giving out 20% more damage. That sort of stuff. They do that with the flaw system where you actually gain something by taking it on. It's not just like, you know, the game still has some of those cheeky flaws like, hey, you looked in the sun too much. So if the sun's up, like, your accuracy is just worse. It's like, okay, like, I don't want to do that. But they have made the flaws way better, way more interesting, way more, should I actually take...
I could see where accuracy being worse would be kind of good if it has a good trade-off. Like, if you're using a shotgun or if you're using close range or something, or melee. You don't need accuracy if you got melee.
Take that. I did one for consumerism where my character's like a dumbass, I buy everything type of character, and it's hilarious how many dialogue options it opens up and how clueless you get to be. But it also does give you better prices. And I will throw out there, compared to the first game, the companions are a much stronger collective this time around. Now, as much as I love the first game, I do think of Parvati and Shudder at how hard she carries that game, because without her, I think it would be a totally different conversation. The second game, while there is yet to be a Parvati level of love,
I like this. I like this. I like the design of the robot, and I like the colors that are happening on screen right now. It's not just puked at me.
For a character that I have, there are much stronger ones across the board. Each companion is basically...
This guy? I like this guy. This guy's cool. This guy's armor also not color puke.
An ambassador for each of the factions of the game, and in turn have their own grounded...
Whatever this character is, okay, all right, let's go, man. I'm kind of excited. I'm glad to be kind of wrong about this. Even though I just pushed it up a point. It was a 7 out of 10. Now I think it's going to be an 8 out of 10.
Values and their own mission, and they're here for that, not just for you.
And like, this area doesn't have that filter. You know what I mean? It's like not the whole area is not the same color with like slight differentiations and then throw in some fucking purple there. No, it's like, and there's no hardline lighting like there is in a lot of games like Marathon, where you got orange and then there's a line where everything's just blue. No, you got this blue area and it fades into this yellow. And then she's also part of the yellow light. Or it looks like a she though. I like it. And how the bench is also like faded halfway into it. Good.
Own mission, and they're here for that, not just for you. And they'll make that clear, like after certain missions, side quests, they'll react to you and be like, yo, I didn't like that. Like, why'd you do that to my people? And they'll threaten to leave. Like, if this happens one more time, I'm out of here. And as the game carries on, it feels like those consequences are growing. One of the things I think this game does really well is how everything gradually grows. By like the midpoint in the game, I thought I was getting to the end, and then 2 more planets unlocked that were huge, and I was like, oh my god, I still have so much left of this game.
Cool.
At that point,
all right, I'm done. I'm done listening to it. I'm probably gonna play this game. Maybe I'll play it on Game Pass. Shit, man, fuck. Well, I love to be wrong about video games. I love when I say I think a video game is gonna be mid, and it turns out it's not mid, and this might even be great. Damn, okay. I'm into it. Definitely not going to be like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, but who knows? Maybe it'll be a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 to me, just like Fallout New Vegas, because that's definitely not a 10 out of 10 game. But to me, it's 10 out of 10, one of my favorite games of all time. Tell me what you think about all this down there in the comments. Donate to the Fables Folly Farm. So we just had some good news talking about The Outer Worlds 2. I'm definitely going to end up playing that at some point, because it seems like it's not going to be a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. It seems like they fixed a lot of the issues that I had with the first game and Avowed and all those games from Obsidian. And they kind of, it seems like, pulled the woke slop out and just made it normal. There's still some of it in it with the character designs and some of the colors in some areas, but it seems like they desaturated it, stopped with the color puke, and just kind of had good designed characters and good designed story and good. Well, anyway, this video is not about that. It's about the opposite. It's a company that is not listening and didn't listen and has just completely destroyed themselves. And the marketing tried to make us think that this was the greatest company of all time that come out with the greatest games of all time. Return to form. Star Wars Outlaws was amazing. Assassin's Creed Shadows, greatest Assassin's Creed of all time. Well, guess what? We called it. We knew that it wasn't, and it failed, and that everybody was just gaslighting.
Ubisoft is in an absolute state of disaster right now. They just fired the Assassin's Creed franchise boss. The co-studio
Yeah, they did.
Didn't go over well.
Put the fries in the bag. I'll see you at Mickey D's.
With gamers, and now it looks like they are going through even more layoffs. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, when a studio makes bad games time after time after time, yeah, they had to have known that something like this was going to happen, and now Massive Entertainment, a Ubisoft studio who had made Avatar...
Dude, all we really wanted was Rainbow Six Vegas 3. That's what we really wanted. We wanted a good Splinter Cell. What are we doing here, man? We want the old Ubisoft back.
Frontiers of Pandora, The Division, and Star Wars Outlaws is going through major layoffs. Now, I think that it's so funny that they posted this.
Well, of course they are, especially The Division, because The Division is supposed to be like a live service game, and live service games kind of been out for a long time, except for, you know, the games like Call of Duty and stuff like that.
It's a massive statement just to say, yeah, we're getting rid of people. It says, as part of our ongoing evolution and long-term planning, we have recently realigned our teams and resources to strengthen our roadmap, ensuring our continued focus on the Division franchise and the technologies, including Snowdrop and Ubisoft Connect, that power our games. To support this transition responsibly, we introduced a voluntary career transition program, giving eligible team members the opportunity to take their next career step on their own terms, supported by a comprehensive package that includes financial and career assistance. Massive Entertainment remains fully committed to our roadmap and to create...
Oh man, I fucking hate hearing about roadmaps. Like, every company that ends up falling to the wayside talks about roadmaps. Even Helldivers 2 talked about it, and it's... that one I can kind of put aside and not think about it. But there's like, I'm so tired of the live services, man, talking about roadmaps, and then got to put in all these different licensed things. to pad it out, to make more money because people aren't buying their slop.
Creating great experiences for our players around the world, including the Division 2, the Division 2 Survivors, the Division Resurgence, and the Division 3.
That is too much The Division. That's way too much The Division. Do something else.
These projects continue with strength, focus, and ambition, and we look forward to sharing more in the future. Now, what they're not talking about are the games that they are inevitably dropping or development is done on, like Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. That is a game that actually had quite a bit of hype behind it initially, but it came out, it was buggy, it was broken, it didn't have a lot of in-depth systems. It was just a really mediocre game in general.
Yep, we call that mid.
And then Star Wars Outlaws made them no money. They put the most amount of money they ever had towards the marketing campaign for that game, and it still underperformed. And while those...
What makes it even worse was the fact that the previous Star Wars game that everybody wanted to happen got canceled outright, and it was going to be a Naughty Dog game back in the Uncharted days of Naughty Dog. And that's what people wanted. And then it kind of looked like that at first, and then they saw the main character, and it just went to shit, man.
Games have either wound down on development or they've just dropped them like a rock. They aren't talking about maybe those teams that were still making content for updates up until recently, because look at Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. They only just recently announced that they're finally adding a third-person mode to that game. Star Wars Outlaws was still supposed to have another round of DLC. It seems like those titles are just kind of done and over with, but Massive Entertainment clearly is going through massive problems right now, and Ubisoft in general is they need to refocus on what made them successful in the first place. And I don't necessarily
downsize your games, don't spend so much on them, make more games like the old Assassin's Creed games. And they apparently did, and they didn't do any marketing. Apparently that's what Assassin's Creed Mirage was, and it was just mid anyway. And they tried to make it like the old Assassin's Creed, and then it failed, and they were like, see, told you, nobody wanted it, even though nobody knew about it. And also, that's not what the fuck we were talking about, especially when you release a giant non-Assassin's Creed game, then you release secretly Assassin's Creed Mirage, and then another giant non-Assassin's Creed game. Like, then people are just gonna miss it. De-bloat. That's just de-bloat. That's all you gotta do, really.
You know, if making a bunch of new Division games is really what people...
Bring back Prince of Persia. Bring back a bunch of the Tom Clancy titles, not just The Division.
Want, or really is what people are expecting. But I guess when they're trying to create these new series like Avatar and Outlaws and they didn't go well, they should go back to the drawing board. And I suppose they just think The Division is their best case to make money. I don't know if I agree with that, but tons of
definitely don't.
Are
it's
now
bad.
Pointing and laughing because keep in mind the Access Media had said all of these games were going swimmingly. Avatar had so much potential and so many people are going to love it. Star Wars Outlaws, that didn't go poorly. The evil chuds are just lying to you, and of course we were proven right time and time again. But now game,
and I think the companies are starting to realize this, actually. I think we're starting to have a 180, man. People are finding out everything that we've been saying is what they should be doing. Everything that we've been saying they're doing is what they shouldn't be doing.
Are ruthlessly mocking them. Corpo speak for, so you guys are fired. Asmund Gold said, welcome home, put the fries in the bag. Massive layoffs, Ubisoft is over party, y'all are getting replaced with AI. And as I always say, I don't like the idea of AI replacing human beings. I think AI is
I think it's going to make it worse if they try and replace the humans with AI, because it's going to remove the soul, and that's what they did in the first place to make everybody not like it. They had an agenda, and then they built a game around it.
Okay tool when used in moderation. I don't think that it should be completely replacing people's jobs. But in this case, these developers are not actually making good content. In a lot of cases, they're just activists who found their way into the industry because of corporate checklists.
Yeah, and then they band together, and they're like, well, this person's making more money than us. This person's getting more jobs than us. This person's getting more attention than us. And we don't like that because they are problematic. and then they push the people out of the company every time. Or you get corporate freaks getting pushed to the top because they're good at getting put into the top, like at Activision, like at Blizzard, like every single fucking corporate slop company. They just put in people that know how to make more and more money. And then they destroy everything because that's all that they're focused on. They're not focused on culture building.
And so they had to hire a certain percentage of women or people of color or X, Y, and Z sexuality. And then these people got jobs that they really didn't deserve in the first place. People should be hired based on their merits, not the color of their skin or their gender. But we know that's not really the way that the mainstream industry works now. And it is sad that people are getting laid off because inevitably there are a few good apples in this bunch that lost their jobs.
They will end up finding somewhere. They will go somewhere. People will recognize that they're good, and then they will get jobs. No problem. Or they'll make indie games that just, come out of fucking nowhere. Hopefully that happens more. Or AA games.
But it's like with localizers, I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and shed a tear for you and feel bad for you and run to your defense when you have ruined our entertainment. Now, I
think a bunch of these corporations need to do more research on the patterns that people see that they don't like. And they need to stop using so much of the Unreal Engine. That's another one. And even if they use the Unreal Engine, the games that have always used it, like Borderlands, they need to stop using the Unreal tools that everybody else is using. And they need to make things look different than each other and not trying to be better than real life or mimic real life. They need to make their own style. Unless that's what the game is supposed to be like Witcher 4. I think Witcher 4, it kind of should be looking like real life a little bit with fantasy elements thrown in there.
I don't know how Ubisoft is going to save themselves in general. I know that the co-studio Vantage with Tencent is supposed to be a really big deal for them now that they've got their hands on Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, and they're really supposed to be coming up with long-term strategies for these.
I think they're going to do good with them. I hope they make like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, but make the map bigger and more things to do in it. Not more things of the same thing to do. Make a whole bunch of different things to do in different areas. That would be fun. And make it very, very similar. Just like a Assassin's Creed Brotherhood 2.
Series, but I do not trust Ubisoft. I don't think I will ever trust them again, and I don't trust Tencent either. So we're talking about just what sounds to me to be another desperate attempt to save their company. Now, will it work? Who knows?
If I think that they're gonna at least make a few games where they're gonna be like, fuck yeah, we figured it out, we know what people want, and it's gonna be successful, and then they're gonna try and bank too hard on that, and it's gonna fucking fail again, all over again. That's usually how this goes with companies like this that end up not actually dying. They end up selling off. They just go through, it's like a roller coaster, but eventually the roller coaster stops.
But at the same time, they have to downsize a lot of their teams.
That's what I want to see. Downsizing, getting rid of the bloat, make smaller games, make them cheaper.
Have to try to come up with
less people working on them.
Better ways to make money, and I guess they're just going all in on the Division, and a lot of
make it smaller and get rid of the microtransactions. I think that's a huge reason why games cost so much now, is because now they expect the microtransactions to make their money, and then people don't buy them, and they're like, fuck, well, I guess then we're just gonna have to use more money for the next one.
Gamers are just saying, why would anybody want a million Division games anyway? Career transition program is some real dystopian business speak for firing people.
Nobody wants to play the Division. Nobody wants the Division. Nobody cares about the Division. There's I'd say maybe less than 1% of the gaming community in the United States, which is the main demographic for games like the Division. That's not enough. That's not enough.
voluntary career transition program, and we all know that that's not the case. They were probably told, hey, listen, you're going to be fired in the next 6 to 8 weeks, so you might as well join this program and try to find something in the meantime.
I want to have a hard time figuring out what games that I want to buy. Now I don't. Now it's really easy for me to figure out what games I want to buy. Like, I just have to wait like 6 months and boom, we got a cultural phenomenon. Dude, back in the day when I was a kid, we had like 20 cultural phenomenon games per month. We really had a hard time choosing. So hard that I'd like buy a few games and then the ones that I missed, I'd have to go and rent because there's just too many to buy. And we need more of that.
Voluntary career transition, bitch, please just call them layoffs. It's so funny that companies will do anything but say the truth. They'll always try to look like the good guys and say, oh my gosh, we're trying to help people through
It's because of the Trump tariffs.
These difficult times. No, you're not. You do not care because you fired them. They're clearly not good at their jobs, which is why you didn't want to keep them around, and therefore...
Or even worse, that they were just at the bottom of the food chain and they got rid of all those people and increased the work of the people that are now at the bottom because they kicked the bottom of the ladder out. That happens so often.
You know, as a corporate entity, you're not going...
I worked at a factory where they literally did that. They were like, well, we got to get rid of all of the people at the bottom. So now everybody left. You're going to have to take up their jobs. And then everybody quit all at once. And then they had to lay off everybody else. And then the company completely collapsed.
To cry over the fact that a couple of people are no longer on your payroll. This is without question one of the most poorly written layoff press releases I've ever read in my life, and we've been talking again a lot about Ubisoft and everything they're going through. In my opinion, the company that says microtransactions make the player experience more fun is not a company I have a lot of faith in.
I don't play games with microtransactions in them at all. I used to be fine with it because I'd be like, oh, well, at least they're not impeding on the actual game for me. And then they started to. And then I was like, well, shit. Okay. Well, at least I'm not getting ads thrown in my face. And then they started to. And I was like, okay, well, at least they're not in my single player games. And then guess what?
Going forward, I don't know why anybody ever believed that a company like this ever cared about their player base, ever cared.
Yeah, they just care about money. And then that leads to them not making any money.
About their employees, ever cared about the health and state of the industry. They just care about...
But guys, we're a family. We're a family. Every corporation ever.
Lining their pockets, which of course a company should be worried about, but they are the ones who hired activists over the years. They are the ones who allowed these people to write what they wanted and not keep a closer eye on them, and that's why they've had so many terrible games released.
I think it's literally because social media algorithms, they show you what you want to see, and they show you more and more of what you engage with. And when they engage in activism, that's all they see is activism, and they think that it's popular, and that's what they're into, and that's the audience they try to go for. You know how I know? Because I see all that stuff too. That's my algorithm looks exactly the same as theirs, except for I hate all that shit. That's why I'm completely against anything that is activism.
Had hundreds of millions of dollars to put into singular...
I just want to point out, this guy looks like Boogie2988.
projects, never mind the billions they put into tons of games, and they're not hiring talented people. That's why you end up with Skull and Bones.
Yeah, also talented people just don't want to work with them.
X-Defiant, Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, tons of games that have been major failures and that did not live up to their expectations.
Yeah, and then you get people that are like, these games are fine. What are you talking about? You're just coping. You're angry. You're racist. You're a Nazi. It's like, oh, okay. This is supposed to be one of the biggest gaming corporations of all time. The games can't be fine. They have to be fucking great, like they used to be.
And they think they can turn everything around with a few more microtransactions and say, oh, it's okay.
And like that's the same argument that people have with the new Pokemon game. They're like, What are you talking about? I mean, it has flaws, but the game's fine. And I'm like, it's one of the biggest franchises of all time. What are you talking about? It can't just be fine, especially when they changed everything about the Pokemon games, and now they're not as good as the old ones.
It makes everything more fun for people, which definitely is a lie. So right now, gamers are pointing and laughing at everything that Massive Entertainment is going through. And like I always say, I do not revel in the fact that people are losing their jobs, but at the same
I don't give a shit. Like, if they're not good enough, then put the prize in the bag.
time, if you suck so much at your job, you probably don't deserve to have it. So I'm curious to see if anybody that was laid off ends up
Get good.
coming out and trashing Ubisoft and leaks any information. We've been getting a lot of situations like that over the past couple of weeks, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below.
Yeah, man. Dude, I hope Ubisoft gets better. I actually don't want these companies to fail. I want them to get good. I want them to get good like they used to be. I miss it, man. I miss all the great games that Ubisoft used to make. They used to be one of my favorite companies. Where everything started to really take a shit is whenever, like, Uplay got introduced. Remember Uplay? I think it kind of made Assassin's Creed worse. Like, Revelations, I didn't like it. And it wasn't because of the game itself, it's because of all of the stuff that was tied into it. And I think it even was in Brotherhood, but I didn't notice it because I played that game offline. But I played Revelations online. But still, I'd go back and play that game again. It was pretty good. Other than that, like, mini game where it was tower defense. And then Assassin's Creed 3 kind of just blah. Then you get Assassin's Creed 4, they took a risk and they won. Not a good Assassin's Creed game, but a great pirate game. And Rainbow Six, man, dude. I'm actually going to be playing the old Rainbow Six. I think it's Rainbow Six 3 for PlayStation 1. I'm going to be playing that soon. I can't wait. What other old games they got in their under their belt? I'm gonna check it out. Dang, I didn't know Zombie was that old. I didn't even know that. I have this game on my computer installed, but I've never played it. Trivial Pursuit, all right. I have Twin World. I have this game. I don't know anything about it. Oh, I have Unreal also. I didn't know what this game was. I thought it was like maybe the original, Unreal Tournament. Apparently not. I might have to check this one out. I don't know what it is. It just says it's a video game. A pterodactyl-like creature in a pseudo 3D rail shooter. Oh, okay, it's a rail shooter. Star Wars for the Game Boy. Okay. Okay. When did they start making, like, actual games, though? Rayman. I guess Rayman was their first actual game. Secrets of the Luxor. What is this? Adventure video game developed by American studio Mojave and published by Ubisoft. Okay. Don't know what that is. For Microsoft Windows 3? What? Earth 2140. I have this game. Never played it. Real-time strategy, though. Seems cool. F1 racing simulation. Seems cool. POD. Pod. Planet of Death. Is a futuristic racing... Cool. That sounds really cool. They did Gex? I had no idea they did Gex. I love Gex. Definitely a product of its time because it has a lot of pop culture references from the late 90s. They did the Fifth Element game? Okay. I don't know if that game's any good. I didn't even know that actually existed. They did Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, Rayman 2, Rocket Robot on Wheels. I remember this. That was their 90s games. Let's check out the era that I'm most familiar with. Don't know Papyrus. Oh, wait, yes, I do. I do know Papyrus. Never mind. Theocracy for Linux. That looks cool. It's a real-time strategy game for PC. Ooh, another strategy game. I like me some strategy games. Disney's Dinosaur. I remember that movie. Of course there's a game for it. Seems like they did a lot of garbage games back in the day too, but they made a lot more. And they probably spent a lot less. Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Is this game any good? I like Batman Beyond. Disney's Aladdin for Game Boy Color. Alright. Here we go. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. I love me some Rainbow Six games, man. Grandia 2. Holy shit, I didn't know they did Grandia 2. Eternal Ring. I've played this game. This game's good-ish, I think. I remember it being good. Kind of dated because it came out in 2000 for the PlayStation 2. Let's see, what's a game that's like absolutely mind-blowing, though? Armored Core 2. They did Armored Core 2? I had no idea. Not even saying that they developed. They could have published these games too. I don't know. I'm just looking at the list. Europa Universalis or Universalis. I don't know how that's pronounced. Planet of the Apes for Microsoft Windows. There's an awful lot of Microsoft Windows games. Batman Vengeance. I liked that game when I was a kid. I have not played it as an adult, so I don't know if it holds up. Silent Hunter 2. That's not what I thought that was. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. I think that's their real, actual, super big hit that people would know about. Ill 2 Sturm of... I don't know how to pronounce that. Breath of Fire for Game Boy Advance. Batman Gotham City Racer. They did a lot of Batman games. Morrowind. What you talking about? Well, they published Morrowind? Published by there's the third installment in the Elder Scrolls series. What do they have to do with Morrowind? Why is this here? What? Rainbow Six Lone Wolf? Myst 3 Exile. Okay. Ghost Recon Island Thunder for Microsoft Windows. I remember back when they made games just for systems. Like they made games just for consoles and they made games just for PC. Now it seems like it's all the same, except for sometimes they make games a little bit worse. Tomb Raider The Prophecy. I don't know anything about this game. It's probably bad. Street Fighter Alpha 3 for the GBA. All right. Yeah, that's what the rest of this video is going to be. I'm just going to be going through these games, man. Ghost Recon for GameCube, I guess it released later. Splinter Cell for Microsoft Windows. Did it come out on Windows first? Oh, no, it's 2002, actually. Okay. I guess I missed it. Wild Arms 3. Incredible games right there. I love Wild Arms. I'm looking to see when they started to fall off. It seems like it took them a while, because there's The Sands of Time. Prince of Persia. Whoa. What? Wait, hold on. What do you mean? October 28th, November 18th. So, this came out way before the actual version? That's weird. Oh, of course they did Beyond Good and Evil. Where's Beyond Good and Evil 2, man? Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. Good game. Great game, man. Sands of Time, again, for Windows. They did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I didn't even know that was a game. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance for GBA. Far Cry for Microsoft Windows. I actually did not like that game when I played it. It was kind of too janky and too difficult. I think they fixed that in Far Cry 2. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly. Oh shit. That's like the best Fatal Frame game. Harvest Moon A Wonderful Life. Haven't played that one, but I love me some Harvest Moon. Got Tom Clancy. For a while, they did a lot of Tom Clancy games, actually. Around the 360 era. Let's see, what's a great one? Prince of Persia, again. I fucking love the Prince of Persia games. All of them. Every single one. All of the main ones, at least. They did Playboy the Mansion. Okay. Alright. What are we doing here? They did Road to Hill 30, Brothers in Arms. I actually like Brothers in Arms. I think Gearbox ended up taking over the next one after that. Hell's Highway, was that what it was called? I remember enjoying that game. Cold Fear. I liked Cold Fear, if I can remember correct. Well, I was kind of a stupid kid, though. The Bard's Tale. Had no idea. Bunch more Tom Clancy stuff. Really good stuff. Rainbow Six Lockdown. Where's Rainbow Six 3, though? Did they even do Rainbow Six 3? Far Cry Instincts. I remember people not liking this game. It's a remake of the original. Oh, that's why. Less open-ended and more linear. Okay. That's probably why. Earned in Blood. I remember this game. This is one of the first military games that I played. Gearbox. Grip Shift. I remember this game. I had this on PSP. Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. Incredible. Dude, I'm looking through here. And it's, oh, they did the PSP version of King Kong. Is that one better than the 360 version? I remember the 360 version was less good than the PS2 version, which actually kind of happened a lot. Call of Juarez, I had no idea. I just bought all of the Call of Juarez games. Yeah, you look through this part of the list, Tom Clancy. It's all like one game, but like they were releasing games, man. Rainbow Six Vegas, here we go. Here we go. I guess they didn't do Vegas 3, or not Vegas 3, Rainbow Six 3, unless I just completely missed it. But Rainbow Six Vegas, one of my favorite military shooters of all time. And then the second one also up there. Open season for the Wii. Okay. Brothers in Arms D-Day. I didn't play that one. Ubisoft Shanghai. Oh, wait. It was for PSP. I don't think I played much of the military shooters on PSP. Far Cry Vengeance for the Wii is a remake of Far Cry Instincts, which was already a remake. All right. Resident Evil 4 for Windows. I didn't know that was a thing. I had no idea this was a thing. I thought it was just, oh, this was released in 2007. Was it any good? Was it any different? Splinter Cell Double Agent for PS3. Enchanted Arms. What is that? That looks cool. Developed by FromSoft? What? See, I'm kind of glad that I went through this list. Oblivion for PS3? What? Well, that kind of makes sense. It was kind of broken. Surf's Up for everything. Prince of Persia Classic. That was just the first Prince of Persia. The first of this version of Prince of Persia. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Fuck yeah. Driver Parallel Lines. I don't remember if this game was good. I liked the one after this one. I forget what it's called. Oh, Driver San Francisco. I like that game. That game needs to have like a remake or something, I think. Or maybe even a sequel. That was a great game. Naruto Rise of a Ninja. I loved this game as a kid. I don't think it holds up, but I haven't played it since then. But I can remember what it was like, and I think it probably would be very dated. Who knows? And I didn't even play that one first. I played Broken Bonds first. Or was it The Broken Bond? I don't remember. Beowulf, the game. I had this on PSP. Assassin's Creed. There we go. This is when it all started going downhill. Because they got too big for their britches with this game. Like, okay, we got... I'm going to start listing off the great games. We got Assassin's Creed. We got No More Heroes. That was a good game. We got... What the fuck is this? Oh, yeah, I remember this. I had this game. It was like a side-scroller. We got Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Great game, dude. Probably in my top 20 military shooters. Then we got a whole bunch of crap. Apparently a lot of people liked Raving Rabbids. I did not. I thought it was annoying. And then you go all the way down to, I don't know if this game's any good. Never heard of it. And then Hell's Highway. That's a good game, I think. If I remember correctly, I liked it. And then you got a bunch of crap. Far Cry 2. I didn't realize Far Cry 2 came out in 2008. That makes sense why it's so much better than Far Cry 1. And you go down, you got End War. I liked End War. End War was alright. Naruto the Broken Bond. They really were like shitting out a bunch of crap. Alright. Prince of Persia. Kind of like a remake of Prince of Persia. Fallen King for DS. I don't remember playing that. Shaun White Snowboarding. I remembered seeing this game everywhere. And I don't know anybody who played it. Yeah, it was Prince of Persia again. I like that game. Tenchu. Shadow Assassins. Why did they just have a random Tenchu game on the Wii? In 2009. Okay. I was like, when did the Wii come out? It came out in 2007. Tom Clancy's Hawks. I remember some people like this game. I don't remember anything about it. I played it a lot, though. Broken Sword. That looks like trash. I don't know. Wheelman. Oh, Vin Diesel Wheelman. They had this at my local video store, and I never played it. Because I saw Vin Diesel, and I was like, the XXX guy? He has a video game? Call of Juarez, Bound in Blood. I've never played Call of Juarez. But I have all the ones available on Steam. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Is this game any fun? I don't know. I think my brother had it on the PSP. We shared a PSP. I think we had it, and I never played it, and he did. But I wouldn't know if he liked it or not. I'm not going to call him up right now, just ask him about Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Assassin's Creed 2 in 2009. Dude, the amount of games they released in 2009 was incredible. Holy shit. Why'd they release so many games in 2009? I mean, I'm sure a lot of them were like, they were a publisher, but still, they don't even do that much anymore. Assassin's Creed Bloodlines. I remember I was going to buy this game, and I ended up getting something else, and I don't remember what it was. For Rayman, for Nintendo DSi. Remember the DSi? Couldn't play Game Boy games on it. That was all for that era. Okay. Assassin's Creed 2 Discovery. No More Heroes 2, great game. I'm going through the entire list, man. Assassin's Creed 2, fucking great game. Phenomenal. One of my favorite games of all time, actually. It's probably in my top 100. And then also above that, well, let's see, we'll get to it. Red Steel 2. I don't remember playing that game, but oh, wait, no, I did play this game. I think it was a good game. I think I remember having fun with it. Because it was just like a Fruit Ninja game. You run around and slice people. If that's the game I'm thinking of. Splinter Cell Conviction, I played that. I don't remember if I liked it or not. Forgotten Sands. Man, this is a whole bunch of stuff releasing in 2010. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Some of these are like doubled because they came out on multiple systems at different times, but still, this is a lot of games. Shaun White's skateboarding. What? I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. Hawks 2. I remember when that came out. Hawks 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Fucking fantastic still. I went back and played it not too long ago. I fucking love Brotherhood. It's probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game. 2 and Brotherhood. Goated. Got Ghost Recon. Michael Jackson, The Experience. And then, yeah, dude. 2011. Still going strong. Still releasing so much. Child of Eden, I remember that. I remember nobody liking this. Because it didn't really work well, and it was for the Kinect. Remember the Kinect? Call of Juarez, the Cartel, came out in 2011. I bet it looks great now. Driver Renegade, I didn't know that was a thing. Driver San Francisco, there we go. This game is underrated as fuck. Assassin's Creed Revelations wasn't as good as 2 and 3, or 2 and Brotherhood, in my opinion, but I enjoyed it. Except for the tower defense stuff. Didn't really enjoy that. But it was an enjoyable game. I still beat the fuck out of it and unlocked almost everything. When do they start having the fall off? I definitely want to see some other stuff that I ended up liking from them. But I think this right here, actually. I think 2012. Let's see, what good games did they release in 2012? Like mainline games, not like these portable games. What is I Am Alive? Action Adventure Survival game. I've never heard of that. Oh, you got Ghost Recon. That seems to be just about it. Yeah. Rocksmith. I remember Rocksmith. Oh, you got Assassin's Creed 3 in 2012. I didn't realize it came out that soon after Assassin's Creed Revelations. Okay. And then you got Liberation on Vita. So Assassin's Creed 3, Ghost Recon. What else we got in 2012? This would have been the year that I would have really been into games. Oh, Far Cry 3. Okay, they had some bangers. They had 3 absolute bangers come out in 2012. And then Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, not soon or not too long after. And you got Call of Juarez Gunslinger. I don't know if that one's good, but I have it. So let's see. We got Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I don't know if we should count that, but we should because it's kind of its own game. You could buy it by itself. Splinter Cell Blacklist. Did anybody like this game? I'll count it just because it's recognizable. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Ooh, they're starting to not have so many here. Whole bunch of Black Flag. Assassin's Creed Pirates. What the fuck? I know that was a thing. Yep. And then, yeah, they didn't have much release actually in 2013 compared to other years. So 2014, this is the year that I graduated. So I would have been playing a lot of games at this time. The Stick of Truth, holy shit, good game. I don't know anything about this game. I didn't even know that existed. Trials Frontier, I did not play. But I did play Trials Fusion. Oh, that's because this is on Android. But I did play Trials Fusion a lot, and I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it. What is Child of Light? I don't know what that is. Watch Dogs in 2014. So we got 2 so far, right? 3. We got 3. We got 2 absolute bangers. Assassin's Creed Memories. Get that shit out of here. Valiant Hearts. Oh, that's iOS. Assassin's Creed Unity. Wait, what? Wait, what? We had Black Flag, November 22nd, 2013. All right. Then we had Watch Dogs just a few months after that. And then we had Assassin's Creed Rogue and Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed Rogue and Unity came out pretty much the same time, didn't they? Yeah, literally the same day. Why did they do that? Why did they think that was going to be a good idea? I remember one of them everybody liked, and one of them everybody thought was garbage. Far Cry 4. Dude, they released some good games, actually. Like, a lot of big games in 2014, more than usual. Watch Dogs for the Wii U. Okay. And then you got The Crew, which you can't play anymore. There's a whole fucking lawsuit around that, which I haven't talked about in a long time. 2014 was a big year. Okay, let's go into 2015. What do they got? What do they got? What do they got? Oh boy. A remake of Zombie. A 1980s game. And then you got Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah, the same year. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Okay. Big game. Big game. Rainbow Six Siege. I didn't realize that came out in 2015. So these 2 games came out way too close to each other. I remember this was a disaster when it came out. Yeah, 2015 wasn't a very good year. Okay. So what about 2016? What we got? Far Cry Primal. Remember some people liking it. Assassin's Creed Identity, never heard of it. So The Division came out. All right, we got 2. We got two big games. Oh boy. Oh, we got Watch Dogs 2. Oh, that was a big hit. That was not a big hit, like it hit them. Oh boy, yeah. 2016 wasn't so good. 2017 we got For Honor. I remember people being very upset with this game. Ghost Recon Wildlands. I remember seeing a lot of people enjoying it, but didn't do good enough. Any big hits? The Fractured But Whole. Assassin's Creed Origins. That was a pretty big hit. Okay, 2017 wasn't a bad year for them. Well, it wasn't too bad, but still, you got Far Cry 5. It was alright. It was just another Far Cry game. The Crew 2. Okay, 2008, not that bad. Stick of Truth for the Switch. I ended up buying that on the Switch. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Brawlhalla. I remember people liking that. Far Cry New Dawn. I didn't play, even though I have it. The Division 2 in 2019. Beginning of it. Oh, wait, no. Okay, this was the new year. New year. So it went from November to February where they didn't have any releases. All right, let's count them. Giant releases. We got Division 2 and a whole bunch of Stadia stuff. Okay, we got the Division 2. Oh boy. 2019 was a rough year. Yeah, it was a real rough year. We had the Division 2. That was it. So let's move on to 2020. Well, what do we got here in good old 2020? Wasn't this when COVID started? Watch Dogs Legion. Oh no. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. There's one. There's one. Okay. That was this game was a travesty. So Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 6. I don't know anybody who played it. So I'm just going to stick with Valhalla. Okay, we got Valhalla. This was a disaster. We got Valhalla. Wait a minute. There was so little going on that I skipped a few years. So Valhalla came out in 2020. At the end of 2020. And then nothing. And then 2021. Got Far Cry 6. Okay. Their big hit. Oh, that was it. That was it. Okay. 2022. 2022. Oh. They didn't release nothing in 2022. Oh no. Oh no. That's bad. 2023. What you got? Assassin's Creed Mirage. Nobody played it. Nobody even knew that it existed. Frontiers of Pandora. That's one of the games that has led to their downfall. They fucked this studio. Skull and Bones. Oh no. The 2024, 23, 24, real bad. Real bad. X Defiant. Oh god. When did they do this? Was it to garner up sales or money for Beyond Good and Evil 2? Probably not. They probably wasted all that. The Star Wars Outlaws. Oh boy. 2024 looking rough. 2025 we got Shadows. 2025 we got Shadows. We got Shadows. That was it. That was all. And that was a disaster. And then we still got Beyond Good and Evil 2, and there's nothing else. There's nothing else in the to be announced besides maybe a few Assassin's Creed games. But if that's all they got going, oh shit. Oh shit. I don't even want to look at their canceled games. That's just going to make me sad. Dude, it is not looking good. If you look at their entire lineup, they used to release multiple bangers a year, and then it just got reduced to less and less and less. So now, if their one game that they release that's a big release every year fails, then they're fucked. And that's what we've been saying, dude. If you made it to this part, let me know. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think about this whole list that I went over. And how bad it's gotten for Ubisoft. Like, I don't know why people are defending this shit. Like, oh, Assassin's Creed Shadows, it did good. Not good enough. Because that was literally the only game they had. It needed to be astronomical. I don't understand why they thought it would be a good idea to pour all of their money into one game. And then the other ones are kind of just coasting on because they're live services. They are completely fucked up. Donate to the Fables Folly Farm.